Legendary SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm ready.
Okay. So for our viewers, Agent PWE is going to be at the bottom of the screen or first to spectate for our casters, and Trito 2 is going to be at the top of your screen. There's going to be no webcams, no player cams, I should say. So
I was going to say we'll go over for each match if that's going to be the case.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're ready to get it started.
Absolutely.
I think I'm just waiting to be able to spectate.
Yep, me too.
The funny spectate. Keep pressing that button.
My favorite part of Hearthstone, the waiting game, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's even worse than Wild.
No, don't even get me started with Wild.
Yeah, waiting game, but you have to wait for the entire game to finish.
I know enough about that, and I don't play in Wild. That should tell you everything you need to know.
I want to try this season, but didn't.
I noticed that, Saku. I'm waiting to see the beast come out.
The wild Saku.
Wild. I mean, that has a nice ring to it. You can't deny that.
It really does.
And plus, it will allow me to say a wild Saku appeared.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we do have spectate now for Agent PWE getting into the match and looking for Trito.
Yes, I do see he just started, but I don't have the option. Oh no, now I do have the option to spectate. I'm forgetting that the button doesn't change anymore.
That's right.
And I'm still getting used to that.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So
we have
PWE is going to be on the priest, and Trito is going to be on the shaman. Let's see what they're going to mull.
Yeah.
I'm curious if PWE is going to actually mull any of this back.
I think if you do, it's likely just Radiant. Although it's obviously like not obviously, but like it's always a toss up. You know, sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did they already mulligan anyways? Yeah, they did.
I guess they did. Okay.
Yeah, I missed that.
No, that makes two of us. But we said PWE is going to start things off. He's got a decent curve on him, but he hasn't quite drawn the wigs yet that would really make this hand pop. So I'm curious to find out how that's going to go. But this is still actually a pretty solid situation because he can play the Scribe and the next turn play the Boon, which, as we know, can be a pretty brutal card if played at the right time, and in this case can set up some very strong early momentum for PWE. Trito is going to go with the Clownfish in response, though, and that's with a hand of all these Murlocs, that's going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, especially with, I guess, it would be more so canceling now most of the momentum from Agent PWE. Right. Kind of has to try to focus on clearing the Murlocs as much as they can.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they're just going to overrun them.
And we also see the advantage of the play that Trito just did meant that the Kyrian that PWE got was weaker. But we see either way, Trito just clears the board and doesn't lose any minions in the process thanks to the Cold Light Seer. A very solid move right there. But now Trito is able to clear off most of the board with the Samuro. It's not the most efficient. I mean, it's not the best scenario for Samuro. You obviously would ideally like to play it to clear off a bigger board, but it gets the job done here.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see a Lushwater Scout just to be taken, you know, for later on in the game. Maybe even playing it now would be not the worst. Especially seeing as you do have the Murloc Tiny Fin. Just clearing off some Muro is always an option.
Yeah, that actually ends up being better than Trito probably realizes, that even Trito might realize, since we know that PWE is not going to have an easy way of clearing off the Scout, and that just makes the Gorlock Ravager in hand all the more powerful.
Yeah. And now it's likely, it's just the Gorlock, so that way you can get more of the Murlocs. I wonder if they're going, it's just a trade here.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking maybe they would coin out, oh wait, no, they don't have coin anymore, I'm sorry.
No, I thought Tiny Fin, right? Like maybe to keep the Ravager alive?
Yeah, I was thinking Tiny Fin or Spawnpool Forager, but I realized too late that they didn't have a coin anymore.
Right. I mean, that would be pretty great, admittedly.
Yeah. And this is from the Thrive in the Shadows. I believe. Um, yeah, it's likely just another Thrive in the Shadows or a Devour here, right?
I think it's probably a Thrive because Devour I don't think really has any use here, and
Right.
it's just like at this point he's trying to get the Handmaiden alive. That is a solid get with the wig though. That's one online and being able to activate it, but definitely still a tough spot since Trito once again, PWE once again unable to clear the scout, which is going to prove to be brutal here as we see how many Murlocs Trito has in hand that he's going to be able to play this turn. Is like that Clownfish draw is absolutely nuts, especially.
Yeah. Especially with that Cold Light Seer off the top, essentially giving all of his Murlocs a lot more resilience into almost any board that comes his way.
Yeah.
I don't really see a way PWE can really win from here, honestly. But it might be too early to call it.
It's tough because unfortunately this is just an example of Wig Priest's biggest weakness being dealing with wide boards. They don't really have any AoE outside of the Samuro, and if they're not able to outpace their opponent in the early game, you end up finding a lot of games like this.
Got you. Yeah, I would assume that, especially with like the lack of the wig, the lack of being able to play their first boon at a beneficial time, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult.
Absolutely. It's not completely unwinnable, but as we see, there's a lot of damage on board from Trito, and PWE is not in a great spot to be able to counter it. I think right now he's got 11, 13, 17. He's got 19 on board, but this is just going to be lethal because as long as he trades something into the Maiden, and we see he's got the War Leader in hand, that is going to be game. As long as he notices that is lethal, I think he's just doing the math to confirm.
Yeah,
that is indeed lethal right there.
Game 1 for Trito.
Yep, a very good start for Trito on this match. He's playing Trito has often played in the lower seeds more recently, but he is playing against PWE. But he's playing in Pro, where he could be facing like 1 or 2 seeds, and against someone like PWE, that would be pretty huge if he could get a win here.
Yeah, definitely.
So now we see at least the Wig Priest, in theory, could end up being trouble for PWE. I think getting the Murloc out of the way is great too. I think Trito honestly probably drew the most ideal hand in this game. He had the card advantage. He had the early card generation. I think it's good to just get that win out of the way, knowing he may not have had as fortunate draws in later games.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just definitely difficult for, given how good the hand was last game. It's definitely difficult to, I guess, overcome that with, especially Wig Priest coming into a wide board state, like you said earlier.
Exactly. And now we move on to game 2. Trito is moving to their Wig Priest, and we see PWE is switching over to their Shaman. Like we said, this is more of a big Shaman, I would say. We saw that Trito's was more Murloc focused, having a bunch of Murloc, having more Murloc cards than average. This is definitely more of the standard Denathrius, Evolve, Murloc Shaman that we've been seeing. I think in theory it should be pretty good here, but we also see that Trito has a really ideal opening hand here, and that could prove to be very problematic.
Yeah, it's especially unfortunate for PWE, seeing as his hand isn't the greatest for I guess countering what's about to go on with Trito's like coming turns.
Mhm.
It's just going to be very, very troublesome to deal with.
Very much so. And Trido, knowing he can clear off this 2-3 is going to be pretty. This 2-3 is going to be great. Stop it from doing more damage. He's also smartly playing the other Slither Spear to trigger the Wig for next turn if he wants to play that.
And then I'm interested to see what the play would be here from your perspective, JR. I don't really know. It's obviously something with a Serpent Wig or Thrive and Serpent Wig, but it obviously could also be something entirely that I'm not seeing with a Treasure Guard, maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, I would say I like the play of playing the Thrive here just to potentially get some more damage on the board and kind of plan out for next turn. I think playing the other Wig is probably best just to, move just to build upon, build stats on the board. I think this was probably the most ideal move. I mean, at this point, Trido's got 2 minions that, we see PWE can clear one of them, but the other, oh no, sorry, he can clear both. I'm wrong. My math is not working out right now. But Trido is at least in a position where he's going to be able to rebuild his board pretty easily. There's obviously the draw power with the treasure guards. There's the scribe as well. I think Trito's still in a good spot, but that was definitely a very big turn for PWE, being able to just play an easy Famish Fool or Gorlock Ravager next turn and continue to build upon card advantage.
With Carestia's blessing, I will find the truth.
And we see here Trito is bringing out the Pelagos. This thing is obviously a card new to the set, and in situations like these can be absolutely devastating. As we see, it helped turn the Treasure Guard into a 9/9. Right now, PWE doesn't really have an answer to that. It's very rough right now. Well, actually, no, that's not true. PWE could play the Schooling to clear that off. Could clear that off with just enough damage, but that would still leave him in an awkward spot. If he doesn't have an easy way of clearing that Pelagos too, Pelagos is just going to keep wreaking havoc, and it is not looking good for PWE as a result. He's probably weighing in, like, what does he have to clear that out now in order to have a chance? And the answer is probably yes, I think. But I'm sure he's also just trying to think, is there a better way, a more efficient way of doing this? I think realistically, though, unfortunately, this is just what has to be done. Unfortunately, does have to play the Muck Pools in order to have enough hand room to get all of the Piranhas. This is unfortunate, but needs to be done. It is going to take a bit of damage off the board, but as we see, keeping that Pelagos alive is going to be pretty devastating for PWE at the moment. We see now, of course, the Amalgam comes down, once again triggering the Wigs. And now suddenly Pelagos is an 8/8 because, of course, its effect works on itself in addition to other minions. Trito is really just going to be building their board at this point, and it's pretty rough for PWE at this point. I don't know what they can do. Obviously the Guardian in hand can freeze the board temporarily and provide some assistance, but it's really just a band-aid on a very big wound right now, because Trito is still going to be able to build up their board in a way that, unless PWE draws the de-evolution card, I don't see how they can clear this. So I guess we'll see if PWE is... Look, PWE really has two options here, which is freeze the board, or yes, clear off the guard, evolve the null, and oh wow, that is the best evolution you could have gotten here. Gonna clear off the 8/8 Pelagos, take that off the board, and now play the Okani. I see the Okani is picked to counter a spell. Unfortunately not ideal, because I think PWE forgot that Trito still had the coin in hand. And now going to take control of the 8/3 with the Hexen. PWE is... Oh, okay. This actually is not too bad. PWE can actually clear off the Hexen and take back their Gravewing. But still, 12 health. That is, it's definitely tough. Definitely tough right now. But I think at this point, yeah, the Neptulon is definitely the best way of moving this along. So that's pretty solid. I think they're just going to play the Clownfish, yep, to have more Murloc options for next turn.
I've been talking this whole time, and apparently my mic's been muted.
Oh, okay. I got a little nervous there, not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, leaving you kind of on your own there for a little bit.
No, it's fine. To be honest, I wasn't sure if you noticed. I was like...
No, I really didn't.
If you weren't being heard, you would have figured that out by now.
No, I genuinely didn't notice.
Okay, so...
Thank you.
All right, so what would you like? Whatever you'd like to add, feel free to speak now. Don't let me hold you.
It was an incredible evolve right there. Just absolutely high rolling the Gravewing, or the precursor to the Gravewing, you know, and being able to clear it off. That honestly might be able to get Agent PWE back into the game if they can finish clearing off the boards and just play Denathrius to stabilize.
Yeah. What's interesting is I'm wondering, is this going to be a... Yeah, I think it's going to be a Guardian turn, freeze the board, and then evolve the Gravewing. Yep.
Yeah, and if Trito can't really deal with this, which I honestly think, seeing the hand currently, is definitely going to be the case. The odds are that it's just lethal playing Sire Denathrius next turn.
Yes, exactly. And I think he does take the Lily Pad Lurker, just knowing, like, next turn he can either hex the 9/9 Scribe, or he can use it on something else that ends up becoming more of a threat, but I just think that's probably the best option. Okay, goes to Alec here.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he were to pick the Lily Pad Lurker, I think Insatiable Devourer in hand that's already infused would just be a better option.
Yes, I am forgetting about that. Good call. Yes. That is probably going to end up being the most valuable, actually.
I'm confused as to why Hero Power was used here. Although, not like Trito can really clear their own board, but it just taking up a board slot I don't think is the best here.
Well, that's the thing. Taking up a board spot here isn't necessarily the worst thing, since it can feed into the Devour, obviously, for Denathrius. But more importantly, this isn't a matchup where PWE is going to have to worry about not being able to trade his minions in. Usually it's only in the mirror match where you actively don't want to make a full board, because you're usually not going to be able to be punished for doing that.
Right, but what I was trying to get at was, if he were to not roll a Searing Totem, the odds are that that's just a board slot that's just being taken out, you know? There's not much... I didn't see that there was much point in having a 0-2.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is actually a very good point.
Here it's trade as much as you can off while infusing, or is it...
I think
is it just lethal? Am I missing it? Yeah.
Nope, yep, that's 9, 12. Just enough, actually. Yep, a little bit more.
Wow.
Just enough. We see PWE with an amazing comeback here. and they're going to take it over Trito to tie up the series.
That was an incredible game. I genuinely didn't, especially towards the beginning, I didn't think I didn't think PWE would be able to take it back, you know? Like, that's absolutely just a wonderful game.
I mean, Trito had advantage the entire time. The thing is, I'm not really sure if there was anything they could have done to nullify that outcome, to change it. But PWE obviously made the most of all of their cards and just,
just held out until they could win.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, it just worked out for them. But obviously, that kind of also goes to show with like Wig Priest, it can be tough to figure out like how do you best utilize your cards. You don't want to run low on card advantage, like we saw. Trito had the early momentum and really seemed like they were in the driver's seat. But this was a battle all throughout. So good on PWE for making the comeback. And now we see this is going to be a Priest mirror.
Serpent Wig in the opening hand is, I believe, always a keep. And it's just, it's incredible that that PWE was able to get that off the beginning.
Yep.
I would assume here that for Trito it's just full mulligan, or it would be just keep Murkwater Scribe and the rest is gone.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Pelagos top deck. That is, especially with the Treasure Guard, that might be an issue.
I mean, it's definitely not a bad start.
Yeah.
Both of them are actually going to have the same exact play here on turn 2, so...
Yeah, that Serpent Wig was a wonderful top deck for Trito. I'm just interested to see, I guess, if anyone's going to utilize their shard super early to mitigate damage, have value trades, or if they're going to try and save it until there's some more Serpent Wigs in the pool.
Yes. Trito's actually going to go for the Bless. I actually like this play. I don't think you needed to use the shard, and I definitely don't think using the Wig was going to be valuable. So getting rid of the Bless takes the minion off the board and really does some good favors for you. But yeah, that's definitely going to end up putting PWE in a bit of a rough spot. We see that this could end up working out, but it is not looking good, unfortunately. Pelagos into Serpent Wig theoretically could be good, but it's...
Yeah, if that's the play, then it's likely just going to be countered by the other Pelagos with the Serpent Wig.
Yeah.
It would just be a trade, and then... Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good play, too.
I feel like that's actually the best use you're going to get out of Shard, because Pelagos, as we saw last game, can really shake things up very quickly. So this was probably the ideal scenario. Just take that issue off the board, especially when you know your opponent has Wig and can do some crazy stuff as a result. Yeah,
especially knowing that they've already used a Bless. It's definitely going to be very useful to get rid of Pelagos' effect and just not really have it activate anymore with very low chance of a Bless coming up. I believe, I was about to say, I don't know if it's build an 8/8 here, or if it is look for the other Serpent Wig and build a big taunt, or something along those lines, but
I mean,
it looks like the Pelagos play was the choice. Especially seeing that... Actually, I don't know if I like this one. Seeing as, they don't have... They have the Serpent Wig Guardian hand. The odds are they have a Serpent they can put on 5 that costs 4 or less.
Yeah.
I don't really know if I like this play from PWE.
I think part of the thought process here is PWE is probably thinking, all right, this is an 8/8. There's no easy way of getting rid of it, knowing that a Bless has been used, knowing the Pelagos is out of the equation. So even if Trito finds a way to get rid of the Pelagos, we know it's not going to be without, sacrificing a bunch of things. I also think the reason for it is PWE is thinking for next turn, all right, I'm going to play the Treasure Guard, Wig, and then play the Amalgam to reactivate the Wig secondary effect. So probably just wanted to have that as an option for next turn, regardless of how this is ultimately removed. And as we see here, this is a pretty good situation for PWE. Yes, the Guardian is down. That's kind of annoying. But I actually think this is still pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with that now. Seeing as the location was already up on its effect being able to be reused, it's definitely useful now that the Servant Wig could be replayed there twice. The Murkwater Scribe was a wonderful card to get off the top.
Right, and on top of that, this 5/10 Treasure Guard can do a lot of damage and a lot of important board removal. And we know even if the Radiant Elemental is out here, there is only so many times that Trito will be able to play and replay that Serpent Wig. So I think this is, this is still very much anybody's game.
Yeah, I agree.
The big thing, though, is, of course, does Trito decide to trade stuff into this 5/10 out of fear of the boon that we know is in PWE's hand?
Yeah, that would be in. I wouldn't say it's going to be a bad play. It's just if you were to trade, it would just be kind of, I guess, interesting to me.
Yes. I mean, he opts not to, and really, I think, I get it, but now I feel like, he's not even going to play the boon. Interesting. Oh,
that
my.
Bless is a wonderful, wonderful card to get here.
Mm-hmm.
They're off their Radiant Elemental now.
I was going to say, now we get the Radiant Elemental out of the way as well. This is pretty good. I guess on one hand, the only thing I don't like about this is that Shard is going to be extra helpful here.
Yeah.
And takes away the draw from the guard. And the advantage of if he had played the boon would have at least been, it would have still been.
Yeah, it's permanent stats.
Yeah. Yeah, now Trito, that Shard single-handedly puts him in the driver's seat for now. But that...
Not for long.
Yeah. Funny thing is, because of the location, because of the cathedral, that alone ends up making
clearing
this
board.
A full board clear easily.
Yeah.
And we see that PWE is also going to get draw off the Handmaiden. So, yeah, I guess I spoke too soon. Ignore me.
No, but that was crazy. This is just a very back and forth game at this point.
I guess this is... You know what? I'll say this much. I will take this Priest Mirror over the Galakrond Priest Mirror that we used to see 40-minute matches of just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. The Galakrond Priest wasn't a very fun mirror, whereas this it's not very snowbally. It's not RNG heavy. It's just, I guess, top decks and hope that you can outplay your opponent to the best of your ability while maintaining your Serpent Wigs and Nagas.
Yeah, exactly. It's like resource management, card draw. Like we see how this kind of mirror can often come down to who has the wigs. It can also come down to who better manages their resources. There's a lot here, and we see PWE is in such a rough spot since
the Jock came down. Yeah.
Jock. But the irony of it all is this actually becomes a great situation because now he gets the Shadow Word Death, can take that out, and now gets the Samuro back.
Yeah, that's
insane game, I swear.
Yeah, that is just incredible.
Like, I was like, oh, that Shadow Word Death's not going to help, and then I totally forgot that now the Hexen was an 8/8. My goodness.
That is just absolutely just like the perfect roll off of the school teacher here.
This, like, oh my god, this game has been
Incredibly back and forth.
yes. I also like that we're getting to see one of the cool parts about this partner in crime card that I don't think PWE is playing, if I'm correct, or are they? I gotta check the list.
I don't believe that they are playing it. No.
Because this is one of the cool parts about it, as we see. Since it doesn't create a copy until the end of the turn, you can do what you want with buffing it in all sorts of ways, and then whatever its stats are, you just get a copy of it at the end. And now we see Trito got another 5/13 out of it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Looking back at the deck list, it looks like PWE is not running the partner in crime.
Yep, that's what I suspected. Now the question is, what does PWE do about it? Because we see there are 2 Radiant Elementals here.
I think the play is to just build a big minion and then refresh with your Valish and summon 2 of your taunts.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just
Except obviously there is going to be there's going to need to be proper minion trading in order to make the space for it. But yeah, I think you bless it. I think you boon it.
yeah,
I think it just works.
definitely.
Let's see. Because now, oh my goodness.
Oh wow, that's lethal anyways. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, a wonderful game from just both players here. That is
My gosh.
that was absolutely incredible. I don't think either of us picked up on that lethal.
No, because we were so focused on the board generation and not necessarily realizing how high PWE could bring the health up of one of their minions. Like,
Yeah,
my
that
goodness.
was insane.
So that was all sorts of back and forth, if I do say so myself.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So now PWE takes the lead 2-1. They have one deck left, which I believe is...
Yeah, their one deck left, I believe, is Mine Rogue.
Yep, that is correct.
PWE? You played Implock. It's banned?
Hold on. That was... Right, Implock was banned, right?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Hopefully he gets caught in the mulligan.
Oh, okay.
Alright, thank you,
That's
Saku.
why Saku is the best.
Yes.
Because he makes sure we don't make screw-ups that we're going to regret later on.
Yes.
Okay, then. So, it's going to be Wig Priest against Implock. I'm very curious as to what you think about Implock, Jammies, because I've seen people say that they think it's one of the best decks of the meta, hence why we saw one nerf happening to it in next week's patch. But I've also heard some people say they think it's one of the most overrated decks right now and actually does not deserve to be talked about in the discussion of best decks in the current meta.
I disagree with the latter portion of that, where you had said that it is that some people are saying that it is highly overrated. I believe that it's somewhat overrated, just not to the degree that it is that I would assume you were typically talking about. You know, it's it's definitely overrated somewhat, just not as much as most people think it is. That's what I believe.
Where I stand on it personally. I think the deck is good, but I've also experienced such polarizing matchups with it that I don't necessarily find it to be, I don't necessarily find it to be like particularly like as good as people make it out to be. But getting back to the actual game, I think we kind of need to talk about the fact that I think Trito just tied this game up.
Yes. Seeing as there is No, no rush on Murlocula. There's no comeback here. It's just game.
Yep. That's what we call a 10-10 Radiant Elemental putting in work.
Yes. Lethal on turn 4.
Wow.
That is absolutely a blowout game.
Wow. Okay then. Game 5, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, it is going to game 5. That much is like that. That's just, I guess, making the series very reflective of the Priest games, with just very back and forth.
Exactly.
Initially, it was Trido's lead, and then it went to Mr. PWE, and then now it's tied, and now it's game 5. We just need to see how it's going to turn out.
Yep.
I think if the Rogue can get off, like if it can really just launch itself to like the heights that it can, then it's fine. Like it's likely to win. But if it can't get off the ground, then it likely just falls against the aggro that is Imp Lock.
Agreed. I mean, at this point, I think, Mind Rogue feels like a very high roll deck in the sense of you really have to get some early momentum, or else you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But that is also something where, it definitely has a fair bit of resources at its disposal. So I don't know. Plus the big thing with Mind Rogue now is that it still kind of relies on some early momentum, but now it relies on more than just damaging through mines, because as we see now they play other death rattles like the Acolyte.
Yeah, if like I said, I didn't say this earlier, but if they can get a whole bunch of the demon spawns down, it's just very rough for the Imp Lock to typically get through them.
100%.
But also, it might just be necessary to try and clear this board as best as Trido can. But I'm not really sure about what the play is here, other than maybe just Sketchy and pass or Hero Power pass.
I mean,
maybe you want to save Sketchy for the other turn, though. I'm not entirely sure.
I think that's the thing. The problem with Sketchy is, I think Sketchy is guaranteed to get the mine, or let me double check with his list.
Yeah, it's guaranteed to hit mine, but it's
so
just
at that point, right. So at that point, it's not all that useful. So you probably don't want to play it in a situation like that.
Yeah, that's what I was just very, very interested to see. What would the outcome be of that turn? Because not having played Mind Rogue super recently, I don't know the plays that should or should not be really taken into account.
Yeah.
And also, let's just take a step and notice that the Naval line has been hit once, I believe, to counter the backstabs or SI7 on their own mine, which is definitely a very interesting play. But this is lethal for Trido.
Yep, a top deck Wicked Stab with the Tooth of Nefarian. Wow.
That is a very fast game. A very slow, not slow, but it is a very...
We didn't really have too much time to comment on it. That the thing was, it almost seemed like PWE had that game in the bag. And then
until
just
he didn't.
Nuts. That was a make or break turn right there. That was a Trido needed to win on that turn, or else he was losing next turn. He could have, in theory, gotten something off the Tooth to maybe prolong things a bit longer, but I feel like it was probably unlikely given how low his life total was. So,
yeah, that was just an insane. That was 15 damage burst, just that one turn?
Yes, that is correct. And 15 exact damage.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane.
Well, we are hopefully going to get Trito in here for a quick interview because, I mean, after a match like that, we got to talk about that, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness gracious! Fantastic. I thought it was Lion or Devilion.
I thought it was Diva Lion, like
I
almost
figured if
like
it was Diva, it
together.
would be Diva, but fair.
But it could also be Devalion. Who knows?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
We shall address the issue accordingly. And by issue, I mean we'll just, the
Ask.
question on all of our minds.
Yes.
I'm good, thank you.
Congrats, dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. That was a wonderful last game, and you played wonderfully.
Yeah, I feel like I made some missteps in some of the Naga Priest games, like games 2 and 3. But yeah, that rogue line, I can't believe I knew I had to commit, but I can't believe it barely worked out in the end in my favor. I don't think I should have won. I think I was talking to PWE earlier. I think he was contemplating. Maybe he regretted tapping. Maybe he regretted playing the Flame Imp. But nobody really knows the Mind Rogue matchups, anyways.
I mean, it's definitely tough because I mean with Mind Rogue, obviously in that matchup, yes, with Implock, he did have to kind of factor in not damaging himself too much, but at the same time, like I think it was he only tapped once that whole game, right?
Yeah, that was the only tap.
Right.
I was kind of happy that he tapped on turn 3 and not play like some 3-drop, because I felt like a 3-drop could just lose me the game.
Right, but he's like tapping so early on that like obviously he's not obviously can't really say as far like he can't really say at that point, oh, this is gonna have an effect in the long game. Like it's just too hard to call in those situations. But speaking of that priest game, that was one of the craziest games I've seen in a while. And I'll be honest, I couldn't really tell if that was a scenario at all where like one of you like misplayed, one of you didn't play properly. If it felt like you were both just trying to control the board the best you could, and then eventually we just got to this point at the very end where PWE had the moves, had the cards to make a big move, but it didn't seem like there was necessarily a way you could have avoided that.
Yeah, it definitely seemed very.
I went all in on the Najak because I realized he played his own. He played the silence already. He played his own Samuro.
Right.
So I figured if I play a Najak and then make it big, there was no way he could deal with the Najak. But then I forgot that he plays School Teacher, so I was like, wait a second, School Teacher into something.
And that was one of the only answers he actually had to that. That was the thing, because if he did play like a second shard or something, you still would have kept the Samuro. So it still wouldn't have like mattered too much. But that was like, oh, let me kill your Najak, take back my Samuro, and then clear your Radiant Elemental. And it's just like, well, okay, then that's all sorts of unfortunate now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, that like these were just back and forth games. It seemed like PWE had a really good edge after that priest mirror, but then you just make the 10/10 Radiant Elemental and beat him down on like turn 3 or 4. Like my gosh.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, just incredible. Like the fourth game was absolutely just perfect in your favor.
When kind of expected, like from my experience, I feel like Naga Priest is favored into Implock already, and I even tried his version of Implock. I didn't bring it in Pro, but I tried it in Hero, like the Sire Denathri version, but I don't think it was good enough, even though it might help the Priest matchup. I don't think it was enough, because, yeah, I just got really early on. online really early on for sure.
Right. I get that. I think like especially when you're trying to construct a list for Pro Series, and you really have to like factor what do I expect to face, what do I think is going to be good for certain matchups, etc. It's one of the most challenging things I feel like.
Yeah, for
Speaking
sure.
of, I was wondering, how do you just I guess a general question? How did you I guess look into building your lineups? Like
Oh,
is it just a whole lot of prep, a whole lot of secrets? You like what? How's it go down?
I mean, since there's going to be a patch. I think everyone within some circles, I think everyone knows that I love net decking a lot, and so this lineup I net decked from the Chinese World Qualification Tournament. It looked really interesting, and I thought, I just went with it, and I just pray that PW would bring Druid, because I think if he brought Druid, I would have a much better time. But yeah, unfortunately, he didn't bring Druid, so I mean, I had to just try my best.
To be
Yeah.
honest, I was shocked that I didn't see any Druid this entire match.
Yeah, it was I don't think that actually speaking of what's your opinion, I guess, on the Druid situation currently? Like, do you think it's viable, or is it just like
I think
what's
it's
your
still
thoughts?
a legit. I still think it's a solid deck. I'm more or less surprised that THL, like all series across the board, Druid has not been brought as much. I think everyone was more afraid that Druid would get countered, but I was more afraid that Warlock would get countered more than Druid getting countered, and I think that reflects in the MT. I think in the MT, Warlock was getting countered more often than Druid.
Mm.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Like
Yeah, I think that is something I have noticed. I guess I just, from my own testing, it still felt like Druid was like easy enough to get a win with in Legacy. So I didn't really feel like it was like one that was so easy to counter. That is always one of the trickiest parts of Legacy. How certain decks can be. You think you can kind of hard counter a certain deck, but sometimes that ends up proving to be beneficial, and then sometimes it proves to be very, it proves to bite people in the butt. So,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
definitely tough.
Yeah, I would just like to thank my team, like all my teams in general. Like they helped me a lot this week, because I did not get as much practice as I would have liked. But yeah, shoutouts to Chewy for making top 16. Yeah, yeah, Chewy's in two of my teams, so yeah, I had to obligatory shout out for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, Donkey and Gamer.
Who
Yeah,
doesn't love Donkey?
everyone loves Donkey. We all use his website.
Exactly. And if you want a free access to that website, no, you already have free access. If Donkey sees this, apologies. I could not resist, though. It was just too much fun. But thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure watching that match unfold. Definitely one of the matches where we're like, thank goodness this was on stream, because I think everybody would have wanted to see this.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity for sure.
And good luck the rest of your matches and the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
I would say we're gonna wing it, but nah, we're gonna handle this with style. Or at least try. I like it a lot. I also find it funny how it's like, this is, I think, not the first time I've casted these two playing against each other in Wild, but I could be wrong about that. Either way, I'm excited for it. I mean, I agree, but I think one of the most fun part about it is like seeing certain decks that you kind of want to see, but you know you'd never see, like, you never truly got to see flourish in Standard. Quest Mage is a great example of this. Like, it was never really that big of a thing in Standard, and yet it got so, like, powerful in Wild that they had to nerf the quest. Like, that kind of says it all, doesn't it? So we have the bands ready, we have the players ready, I believe. Yep. Right. Seriously. Also, Saku, you made a slight error. It's not Highlander Priest, really. It's Reno Priest. I mean, no, it's technically Highlander deck, but I feel like every wild like Highlander deck it plays Reno, so you end up calling it Reno, like a Reno deck. Like before, like Reno was Highlander before Highlander was cool. Like there's got to be some kind of meme on that, but I digress.
Uh, but before the players start, I was just interested to look at the rogue of Memnarch real quick. It's typically on ladder you would see a 7 minion rogue for your pillager, and this is definitely more than 7 minions. Because I don't know if it's just testing where they've found it more consistent, or if it is just, I guess, their preferred list, but it is definitely I guess, an interesting older but still somehow new take on it.
Right. I mean, to be fair, it's only 9 minions instead of 7.
Right, but that still does, I guess, decrease the consistency of cards like Shroud of Concealment. And you're also cutting 2 cards for something for another minion, you know?
I suppose, but I think the idea behind it is it's a bit less consistent, but you're also giving yourself more outlets
To draw more minions.
to draw the minions and get your combo ready. So
Yeah.
probably
Okay.
less consistent in drawing all the cards you need, but more consistent in getting to that combo sooner if you don't draw them immediately.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. I can see how that's definitely the case.
Oh yes, I am. All right, so Memnarch is going to be starting off with a Togwaggle Druid or Togwaggle Alignment Druid, and Itachi is going to be starting off with their Malagos Druid. Both these guys are obviously very seasoned in Wild. We've seen that Memnarch has recently taken his skills to standard THL as well, and Itachi. Well, Itachi's Itachi. If you don't know what he's been up to in THL all this time, you really need to do some research. That's all I'm going to say. I admit, though, I'm biased towards the guy. Nothing but love for him. He actually started shortly after I did, and I was like telling people, I knew Itachi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sign this man. Sign him. No joke though, the man's just good at card games. So Memnarch's got himself obviously both alignments and the biology project, which is going to help it. That twig, oh boy, that twig is going to be something. I think I assume the plan is going to be he's going to want a twig, and have it ready like once he plays alignment, he'll end up having 10 crystals.
Yeah, already ready.
Screwed.
Yeah.
That's
It is, yeah, absolutely. Especially, like you said, after the alignment, it's just going to be absolutely crazy.
We also probably should talk about the fact briefly that alignment is a card that's been confirmed to be nerfed, that it's no longer going to affect the opponent. Do we think the card is still going to have any viability going into the new patch?
Honestly, maybe in Wild, but definitely not in Standard.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I get why they're doing it, because Druid can do some kind of insane things with it. But I mean, let's be real, it doesn't really do much to it's just now practically unplayable in Standard as is.
Yeah, it's no longer almost a pseudo-tech card that's also just good on its own.
That being said, I also get why they did it, because the truth of the matter is, if Druid is always going to some extent play around the idea of mana ramp, then they're always going to have a way to exploit a card like that. So maybe it is just too broken in its current state, and there's no way to make it truly balanced.
Yeah, better to, at least in my opinion, it's better to over-nerf Celestial Alignment than to under-nerf it.
Exactly.
I think the question here with Benmark is whether or not he plays a biology project, and it seems like he just chooses not to. But it was I don't know whether or not that is. I guess. Oh no, it does make sense, because if you wait till 10, it doesn't affect Itachi then, as long as they don't have Guff down. Oh, they do have Guff down.
Right. Well, the tough part is also that I think Memnarch was debating, is he going to play the Celestial Alignment next turn? Because if he plays the Biology Project there, he can, but otherwise he can't. So that's probably one of the things he was considering.
Yeah.
We see the Dirty Rat, though, and now he knows Memnarch currently does not have any cards in hand among the 6 that are in there.
Yeah, no minion cards in his hand is what knowledge he has gained from the Dirty Rat. I think we just played the Twig after ramping, right?
I think
with
so.
Your hero power?
I think so. I think if he knows, especially if Itachi knows that Memnarch is playing the Celestial Alignment, he'll probably want to have that as an op. Oh, okay, no, he decides to. You know what? This is probably better actually. Play the Floop, and this will give
another Malygos.
Yeah, this will give him a way to further his combo. The Sphere is an absolutely amazing draw for Memnarch, though, because he can plan to alignment next turn.
Yeah, especially...
And then just play the Sphere and boom, go nuts.
Yeah, now it's... Oh yeah, because you can Biology Project next turn to gain 1 mana, and then alignment.
Right, so he can't do it... What he could in... Oh, no. There's no... He'd have to Biology Project and then Celestial Alignment. Like, he can't do everything in one turn.
Right,
but,
he would have to wait a turn.
Yeah, but it's doable, at least. It is absolutely doable.
Yeah. Especially with, potentially, well, almost definitely, actually, alignment coming down next turn. But seeing as Itachi now has a whole wealth of cards, I think Itachi's just looking for more damage spells like Moonbeam
Yep,
at this point.
correct. I mean, we see in his hand right now, his only form of spell damage is the Moonbeam.
Yeah. Although, now
Now he's got an
this would
actual
be 11 times 2, 22 plus 12? If he were to go in and had the mana, it would be 22 and 12.
Yes, you are correct.
So that would be 34?
As we're about to find out, this is all sorts of rough.
Yeah. And now it's I think it might honestly just be game here, depending on how much card draw and how lucky or unlucky a Memlark gets here.
Because I think
Seeing-
Itachi... I was going to say,
Yeah, Tachi can't really go in.
he has a full hand, doesn't he? Or does he have 9?
Itachi has 9 in hand, but
9 in hand.
it doesn't really matter too much, seeing as Togwaggle, you know, like
Yeah,
they have the Togwaggle, they're drawing cards, they have the mana to play almost all of them.
right.
I don't really see a way that Itachi wins this, unless somehow getting massive amounts of burst.
Well, in an ideal world, obviously, you want to, you want your opponent's hand to be full so that you can switch decks and not
To play.
give them a way to switch it back.
Yeah. Well, there's also I don't know if actually I should check. I don't know if Itachi runs this. Memlark runs this, but there is Azalina in the deck.
Yes.
So
Right.
if-
So you generally want to have both cards in hand, but we see
Yeah.
Itachi. Wait. We see. Wait. What happened?
Itachi played King Togwaggle. I would assume.
No, Memnark played King Togwaggle.
Oh, you're right. That's my bad. Although I'm not
We
entirely
he still has the same
sure.
hand? I'm
Yeah.
very confused right now. Saku, did I miss something?
Oh no, because he has 2 mana, he can't play the swap decks back.
Yeah, no, that's not right. But Togwaggle's battle cry switches hands.
No, that would be
Oh,
Azalina.
yes, I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Azalina kind of sort of swaps hands, but it's
Yes. No. You're right. It's not hand. It's deck.
yes.
That tells
Which
you how
is-
long it's been since I have played. Since Togwaggle has been in the standard meta. I am sorry. folks. My goodness. Okay. Oh boy, you're tempting me, Saku. You're tempting me hard. All right. Well, either way, Memnark is going to take game 1. Itachi is going to switch over to the priest and the Highlander priest, and then Memnark is going to switch to the spectral rogue.
This is I think honestly just kind of a rough matchup for both of them. As strange as that is to say, because Itachi has the 40 health and Memnark has a whole lot of burst that he can get down very quickly. So it really depends on whether or not Itachi keeps Reno, has any healing, but it doesn't seem like it, because I forget that he is Dark Bishop Benedictus. So odds are that there is no healing, or
My
very little
personal
of it.
feeling is I think Memnark has the advantage here because while Itachi can obviously put out minions and get some good momentum going, even with the 40 health, I don't think he has any easy way to stop the combo shenanigans of Memnark. And we also have to keep in mind this deck plays Cloak of Shadows, which Itachi's not really going to have a way to play around either. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's definitely going to be a difficult matchup for Itachi.
Yeah. It's not unwinnable by any means, but realistically, his best move might have, in theory, been to either keep the oh my god, the Murloc, the 7-drop Murloc. Why am I forgetting its name all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. Or to just outpace Memnark and just kill him before he has a chance to combo off. But that could still be difficult. I guess we'll end up seeing what he does, because this is definitely a tough spot.
Yeah. I seeing as there is the Dirty Rat here, if Itachi ever were to, oh wow, this is a surprisingly easy Murloc Holmes here.
Exactly.
But
And
if Dirty Rat were to be played here, you would have to hope to, I guess, disrupt the Spirit of the Shark or hit Elven Minstrel to get rid of the card draw. But now that he has Spectral Pillager, it's definitely going to be tough to try to avoid the Dirty Rat.
Right. And plus, it's important to keep in mind, being able to get down the Spirit of the Shark off the Dirty Rat is kind of a double-edged sword. Like, knowing that that's something you could hit can kind of cause some real disruption there. So we will see what Itachi plans to do about that. But we should also mention we have a third caster joining us now. Devalian, I'm sorry if we're mispronouncing your username, but feel free to join us.
Great, yeah, thanks. Sorry I'm late. I had my first father-son hike in like a year and a half, and it went late. And that's my fault, and I should have prepared for that. My bad.
No problem. You're right on time. You missed a very crazy series of events with Game 1, but now we are on to Game 2 of this map.
I heard a lot of Spirit of the Shark, yeah? Is Pillager Rogue out of the way?
No, that's what's being played now.
Bullocks. Alright, let me hop into it. Listen, I don't like cursing, okay? But Bullocks is funny, it's not cursing, and it's British, so I can pretend I'm Gooth.
Well, wait, are you British, though?
Oh, not at all.
Okay, because your lack of... I was going to say, you might just not have the accent and still be British, or, you know, what the hell do I know, so...
Fully Polish.
I'm not Polish, how about that?
Whoa! Anyway, I just hopped into the game. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Am I correct that it appears to be the Reno Priest and the rogue that I do not want to mention?
Yes, it is. We saw something we don't often see was a successful Murloc Holmes.
Ooh, I've tried playing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that I'm bad, maybe it's that I'm not good, or maybe it's that I'm just both, but I've played Murloc Holmes a bunch and I never get it right. Congrats. Am I correct in thinking that you don't get any of the cards unless you get all three?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Which is
That
really
is
like a big. It's like a decent minion on its own.
Oh yeah.
But very much you better you get the massive value only if you get it right.
Hold on a minute. Yeah. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Yeah. That was a very unlucky Dirty Rat, not hitting either of the Spectral Pillagers.
Well, hitting the Shark was in theory kind of good for Memnarch, and obviously, not getting the Pillagers was pretty unlucky. And now Memnarch might have some good stuff going here.
Sure. Memnarch is playing a little bit slowly. Maybe it's from all my experience getting whooped by Maxi, but isn't Itachi supposed to be dead by now?
Well, to be fair, I think he's about to be dead.
Yeah, 6, 7. So it's been what? Oh, wow. I was going to say it's been 45 seconds of the turn. No, there's actually a real possibility that Tenwu's animation takes a surprisingly long time.
Yes, it does.
I think he can still do it because he's experienced.
He's got it. That's
going to go down the wire.
He's got it.
Yep. He got
exactly.
it. I mean, look, that was the last card he could have played before his turn would have roped. That was cutting it close.
Yeah.
Itachi's got to be thinking to himself, you've got to be kidding me. I literally had the worst possible outcome with Dirty Rat, not once, but twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a very, very unlucky Dirty Rat.
Well, now we see here that Itachi is on the ropes. Memnarch has one more deck left to win with, and that's it.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, no, it was banned. For a moment, I saw Freeze Shaman next to Memnarch, and I forgot that was the deck he banned from Itachi.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, this is
Exactly.
actually going to be very fun then.
Yes. So Itachi is once again bringing out the Highlander the Highlander Shadow Priest, and
It's the gimmick priest. At this point, it has so
Yes.
many. It's Reno. It's big. It's Steve. You know, it has
I
the
like
hero
it though.
power.
Don't judge me, but I like it.
No. I agree. It's a fun deck.
Right.
I'm not trying to diss it in any way. I'm just trying to
I
say it
know,
has
I
so
know.
many gimmicks. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Um,
look, Itachi has enough faith in it that he's sticking to it when there's a
Yeah.
possibility of a looming
And-
sweep.
Well, I will say, good decision. I find that the higher up you go, the better the players are. The Thief Priest has an edge because the Thief Priest will generally know both decks and be able to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I need to, THL is very slow right now. I'm submitting my ban in my series, and it is not loading up, the current decks. But presuming it's just the meta versions of both decks, no bells and whistles,
Right.
I would say that the Thief, the Gimmick Priest should have a decent edge just because he's going to know exactly which cards to pick with Identity Theft. He's going to know what to go for with Lazul, right?
Oh yes.
He's going to get lucky.
I mean, when it's Itachi, it's generally all skill. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Agreed, but extra macaws sure does help.
I'd
That's
say
also-
the only bells and whistles off of the Murloc Shaman currently, at the very least, that I see is Theotar and Scargill.
Mhm.
But
Theotar is getting to be fairly meta because of all the combo decks around. I'm thinking
Yeah.
that, yeah. Now, Scargill is interesting. Is there like a Murloc Holmes? Is there a Mutinous?
there is Mutinous, Scargill. We have the Gorlock Ravagers as well as Firemancer and Toxfin. So this
Oh,
is
you
a
guys are in green.
6 or 7 card Murloc with Shudderwalk Shaman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah,
presumably
Rumble.
double Ice
Oh, I
Freeze.
used to love that card.
What do you mean, used to?
No, I mean when it was in standard.
Okay, then. Be very mindful who you are talking to right now.
Wait a minute. No, full disclosure, I'm somewhat familiar with Wild and the decks that are in there, but I have not properly played it ever, at least in a competitive level. So bear with me.
Full disclosure, I get up to, high leaderboards every season, think it's going to be the time, and then I fall right back down.
That seems like a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, although
Well-
last season I finished inside top 200 for the first time ever. So, Anyway,
Hey, that's an accomplishment. I've gotten to top 200 before, but never been able to keep it. It's hard.
my profile picture on Twitter is that time I was at rank 11 for all of 5 minutes before I started, I think it was a 6 or a 7 game losing streak. That month I finished in 600 something. But we have what looks to be a lot of the really, really good Shaman cards in Itachi's hand, and a lot of the good Shaman... Wait,
That
but-
is a crazy
Zola.
hit off of
I don't-
Dirty
I
Rat.
do a Zola in hand. There's no Zola. That Grumble is just
Yeah, it's just
around
gone.
until further information. Until that Zola comes up, the Grumble is just there and it can
I
get
was going
killed.
to say though, I think you're just happy that plays out that way, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're going to want the Zola to be saved for massive Boner, Dirty Rat, Flurgo, Toxfin turns in most
Oh,
cases.
and the Memnarch. Oh, okay, he does
Nah.
not hit the Raza. That would have been pretty devastating.
But hey, it's better than hitting the Primal Dungeoneer.
Yes.
So it was the even case. It was the even case.
I have to
Reverse.
wonder.
Because I'm trying to think what does Itachi do here, because he's not in theory of dying. He's not in danger of dying yet. But Raza, I don't know what Raza into Seance to what do you?
Yeah,
do?
I was thinking Raza into Seance Mutanus personally, but
Ooh.
and then maybe trade the Prince
I
Roundfall
was
and King
thinking
Grumble.
Identity theft and see what you get from there. Oh, that's pretty smart too.
Yeah,
There's another thing with Priest is there's just the decision trees branch off exponentially. I mean, it's
it's a lot of choices.
and that's another reason. and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the Priest deck might be even more complex to pilot than the Shaman deck, just because of all the RNG and all the in-depth knowledge of the decks you need to bring.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty valid. Of course,
And
also,
I would like to,
we got to talk
offer
about Memnarch gets the Guardian taken out of his hand only to draw the second one.
You only need one. You're only going to need one because you're going to win from low thebs and infinite shutter loops. You only need the one.
Well, the thing is
come
now
on.
you can't infinitely loop Shutter anymore without the Grumble.
I still hope in Zola. I'm a big Zola believer.
True, that's fair. If you can get down a copy, then maybe
And
you can
theoretically,
copy the Shutter.
If you can maneuver into a good position, theoretically there are games when you only need one shutter.
True.
It is rare,
Yeah.
and it requires drawing most of your deck and not dying and being in a position where that matters. But it is not
pretty
out of the question that you can get one shutter out.
Do we ever just play Zola here for information and see what they have? You know, I think maybe just
You mean?
Alucia. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't think so. Just because there can be so many impactful battle cries you might want to use, and if you want information, because your hand already has a lot of things to do with Lazul, with Identity Theft, Primal Dungeoneer will obviously never draw an elemental, but it will still draw a spell with your Seance. I think you have enough things to do that you can save the Elucia for when you have more mana, like a full 10 mana turn.
yeah.
And obviously with perfect information, we see Elucia does nothing here.
Yeah.
But, even if we didn't know that. Yeah, that's not bad, actually. It helps with Plague. It's not what you want to see. But any spell is a good spell. I am so sad. Snowfall's gonna go away. I'm gonna be so sad.
I will say though, I think also one of the tough parts about playing Elucia properly is that you potentially waste your turn if you play it, depending on how much mana you have. So I actually think Elucia is going to be great in the late game, but I don't really see a scenario where it gets much value now.
I completely agree with that. I think that's the right decision. That devolve was ridiculously unlucky from Minmark's perspective. Thankfully, there was only 2 moves, so it didn't matter too much, but 2 fat taunts, probably the best 2-drop, and a somewhat decent 4-drop.
Yeah, that is crazy to high roll that 2-drop.
Yeah, high roll.
It's also fortunate in Itachi's case that he has great options at his disposal.
Skargil? Is there a mutinous in Itachi's list? There is.
Yes,
there
yes,
is.
there is.
Oh, that is
We
so
saw him
smart.
actually have it last game, so we know that's
That is
there.
ridiculously intelligent. I wasn't even considering that. I was instant on. And
Is it more ridiculous than Firemancer into Toxfin?
Well, I think
you don't want it right. I don't think you need it right now.
Yeah,
No. I just mean down the road.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we know that's going to happen down the road. Proceeds to laugh diabolically. Also,
no,
of course, they
no.
both dirty ratted each other to get a Guardian out of their hands, because of course.
Yeah,
Wait, is he going off of it? Is he going for it right now? Is he just trying to get the minion out?
I guess. Oh, I see. You know what? This actually works out pretty nicely.
I don't think I agree with this. I think the right decision was to do some freezing or to draw more cards. I actually do not agree with this.
But at the same time, I think one of the tough parts about this situation is, obviously Memnarch is probably thinking, well, Itachi's not playing a deck that's focused on making, huge boards. Maybe this is just, a good scenario of, all right, they've got a decent-sized board, I clear it. It's not optimal, but it's also not bad either. I see Shutterwalk, I see
And not only that, but he knows that there is no Shutterwalk in the deck, and he knows that there's no more Devolve. So this Mutinous is going to be big, and it's going to die to poison, but it's still going to be big.
Well, right. That's the nutty part about it. You still get so much value off this Skargil.
Okay, 1 for 3. Wait, no, he missed that? Isn't that the... Oh, this animation confuses me. I'm sorry.
It's hard. We gotta pay extra attention for that stuff. It's annoying.
Yeah.
That was, you said it's a 7 Murloc package?
Roughly 7, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3. That could have actually drawn 3 cards, I think, or 2 cards. That might have been the best option. Wait, did he just end without hero powering? Or did I
Yeah.
miss something? I think
No,
he missed
no.
hero power.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he can be thankful that 1 hero power is very unlikely to make a difference. And there it is.
Wow.
The 3-0 sweep for Memnarch.
Unfortunately for Itachi, he put up a valiant effort, but Memnarch just taken all 3 of these matchups.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And I believe that means F2L Celadon goes down, right? 11 to 1, no, 12 to 1, 2 games. Yeah, F2L down.
Yep. I mean, there's still points to be had, points to be attained, but yeah, they definitely.
Don't remind-
peak,
Wait,
unfortunately.
no! Oh, I hate this.
What?
No, I have my match in half an hour, and I'm the last match, and I'm last match on a Saturday, and we're tied at 10 to 10. Oh, so much responsibility.
Hey. Sometimes it's great to have that pressure. Speaking from experience.
Yeah, but not when you're playing people who are like 50 times better than you.
First of all, there's no way they're actually 50 times better than you. Second, have faith in yourself, man.
Anyway, what the heck? Oh, I'm still in spectate. I saw the Battlegrounds thing pop up because I'm still spectating Itachi.
No, Memnarch got the 3-0 sweep.
Yes, I know. I saw the. Anyway.
Mr. Memnarch.
I did.
Dude!
Congrats.
That was sick!
That was a very, very clean sweep.
That
Yeah.
was like all sorts of craziness. Like, tell us about that. What, like, I feel like you and Itachi have like this, like, wild rivalry because you've definitely played each other before, and it's always some kind of craziness when you two play each other.
We've played a lot. Like, I don't even know how much. It's like once per season.
That's what
Like
I feel
2
like
years.
it is.
Yeah, because he was in the first. I think I actually played him every single season,
Yeah.
like multiple times too.
So there are like a couple points I want to touch on. So first of all, that game 1, that twig into alignment into sphere was just like, good God, like I can't help but feel like Itachi just saw that and gave up. That was
it's
kind of
brutal.
gross.
That's what a druid does, though. I knew I had the twig up, so, and I was
Right.
like looking at my hand because I had the what was it, the study or the research biology project, and I had nourish.
Yes.
And I was thinking like I was thinking I had to nourish after I alignmented, like because I had overflow in hand, so I could have ramped twice overflow.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just drew the sphere. I was like, oh, I know what I must do.
And it's
Yeah.
like, here, let's draw like 15 cards in this one turn, right? We can do that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, good.
I was thinking I should have overflowed and then switched with his deck at the end, but I was like out of time, and the overflow animation takes forever.
Exactly. Let me ask you this, because we were actually just talking about this right before, right as that game was starting. With alignment being confirmed to be nerfed in the next patch, do you think there's any chance it could still be viable in Wild?
Yes. Oh my god, like that doesn't hit the problem in Wild. The problem with Wild is you cast alignment, and you can literally win the turn you cast alignment because of Floop's Gloop. Floop's Gloop and any minion on board.
Oh.
You can let's say you Floop's Gloop and scale. You have access to a minimum. If you can trade off all 7 of your minions, you have access to 7 minion or 7 mana, and probably more
Right.
if your opponent has it. And so if you do that, then you play alignment and you trade again. You have mana on your alignment turn, and you can just go off.
Got you.
What it does kill is
The only
go
My
on.
only worry, question: when you alignment and the opponent gets their mana in your play, has that ever actually cost you games when they can maybe when they would have been able to respond with 8, 9, 10 mana that they now just have one card, or is that overblown?
It was a risk I had to take, I think, because I had no minions in hand. So if he had a Mutanus or
Another Dirty Rat.
or another Dirty Rat, Floop, then I would have been free. He had no Loatheb in hand, so the best thing he could have done was what I did. Well, I was thinking like he would have played the Twig if he had it, because you always Twig right before your opponent alignments. That's the main way you beat the deck in the Druid Mirror. But with the way my hand was, it was like I either overflow or I play alignment. And he had a 40 card deck. I think he used one bit of ramp already. So I was just leveraging or thinking like there's no real punish. Like there's nothing that kills me and he has no taxing effect. Like the way he could have won that was if I alignment and he Nourish, Twig, Sphere, Malygos, Murder Me. But he would have, like I said, he probably would have played Twig already.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was. Well, I was actually about to ask. With the Pillager Rogue game, was it? Did you have to spend most of your turn just counting out the damage, or was it?
I was counting damage.
Gotcha. I was just making sure because I was like,
yeah.
we were all wondering why the rope was starting, and we were really worried that you wouldn't have enough time to play because with the Spirit of the Shark and the Tenwu, it's rough with animations.
It is. I have roped out the Tenmu before, but like I've played Pillager a lot, so I've gotten it down so I can pretty much always beat the rope. Like I know when to go in, or I know when to start the final like stretch for trying to point face. But he almost got me. If I didn't draw Swindle that turn, I think I might have been in a very bad spot.
How bad do you think it would have been had he gotten one of your pillagers off of the Dirty Rat?
Oh, it would have been pretty bad because I'm not sure if I run potion in my list or in that one. I do not run. Oh, I do run 2 potions, so it would have actually not been bad at all. If I just needed to hit the card draw. Like this version, the version I played into him, I was thinking I was going to either go 6 minion, and then like Otters brought the 10 minion version, and the 10 minion version's better into Dirty Rats. And I thought he would go some sort of control, and I was also targeting the big decks, like Big Priest, Big Rogue, with this lineup.
Yeah. I hadn't even considered the bringing 10 for the. I genuinely thought that you were bringing 10 just for the sake of, just for, not for Dirty Rat or Mutanus or anything. I thought you were just bringing 10 because it was like something you were comfortable with. And I was genuinely confused. I was talking a little bit before, like, why is he bringing the 10? But now it makes like a lot of sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of that explanation actually cleared up quite a bit, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So, I mean, the schedules I believe are out, so you probably know who you're playing next week. Are you starting? Do you start preparing for that now, or do you take your day off to, I don't know, ladder or celebrate your win in some way, and you start prep next week? I'm curious how the lifestyle works of people who win in THL.
Yeah. Normally I start on normally the captain posts the matchups on either Sunday night or Monday, and then we have a brainstorming session, and then maybe this team is the team I'm on currently. Like we're kind of just mainly messaging each other about because there's not really much to brainstorm at the first week because you don't have a previous lineup, and with nerfs coming, it's going to be probably another best deck spring week. And if you can if you think the best decks are solid, you find a weak point in that best deck lineup and then just target it. Like this week, Big Rogue, that Priest deck, and I'm since Itachi, since Rami, his teammate brought Big Rogue, I was pretty sure Tachi would also bring Big Rogue because he's a standard player and he has seen the sheer amount of hatred that Big Rogue's getting right now.
I do not understand that. I don't. In the order of decks that should be getting hatred, it's uninstall the game mage should get 80% of the hatred, Pillager Rogue 15%, and the big decks should combine for 5%. They're annoying, but they're not the kind of decks that make you want to gouge your eyes out and rip your hair out of your skull.
I mean, Big Rogue, I don't think we've ever had a deck that punishes board in the early game quite like Big Rogue does. Like,
this is true. Although with the new backstabs and the new bone spike and that tradable thing, sometimes you don't even need them to have a board.
Oh yeah, that's the serrated bone spike. It's one of the best new cards Pillager Rogue's ever gotten. It's absurd. The 6 minion version can you play 6 minion now because it's anti-aggro because you can combo faster and combo faster. And have some sort of defense.
What did it replace? What card did it replace?
Oh,
it probably replaced the compared to the 10 version list, I think it would have replaced the Elven Minstrels and Tenmus, right?
It's Extortion. Well, there was a 6 minion list before, and Elven Minstrel's already cut from that.
Oh, gotcha.
So I believe it's Extortion because we were running 4 tradables. Yeah, I think it's Extortion.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. It's better in almost every case. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. That pretty much wraps up. Any quick thank yous or shout outs there, Memnarch, to
I want to actually thank me and Otters. I took Otters, made a lineup, and we basically came on the decks, but he made the lineup, and I just copied the lineup from him as his tradition.
Yes,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So I want to thank him, and yeah, it's the main shout out.
Big man Otters there. So, well, congrats again on your win over Itachi and F2L this week. So now you get to prep.
We actually beat F2L.
Almost.
I thought we still had
clinched. Oh, clinched. You won. It's 12-1 with 2 matches left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would do it.
I have maybe a strange question for you. As you just shouted out Otters, do you spell it with capital O's?
Ours looks like it's lowercase o.
Okay. No, I was asking if you spelled it with capital O's.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what?
Just for the funniness of it.
I will spell it with O.
Awesome.
Because he likes undercase, so you have to do the opposite, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Yes. All right.
Y'all are
Thank
too
you.
fun.
Thanks, Mem. You have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Memnarch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're on to our wild match, which is going to be featuring our very own Dr. Fish versus Jolt C.
The man, the myth, legend.
I'm gonna have to hop out here because I have my match in.
Good luck. I was just going to say good luck on
No
your match.
worries, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah. Wait, is Fish not on our team anymore? Oh, he must have left. Oh, wait, no, he tests with us. Yeah, I'm being stupid. Yeah, but,
You're
who's he
not
playing?
He's playing Jolt C.
In Wild?
Oh, sorry, not Wild. My bad. I didn't look at Wild, to be honest with you.
It should be in Legacy, I believe.
No, it's not Wild. Whatever. Good stream. Good luck on, I don't know, the streaming. Enjoy.
Thanks. Take care.
Let me know if you need anything in the future.
You got it. We'll post it in the normal spot. So take care.
Sweet. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Our pleasure.
All right. Now we're on to Legacy. No bans just yet. Or maybe there is. Hold on a second. Okay. They didn't do bans yet, so I'm just typing to the players so they can do their bans. And we'll see what happens. You guys can rumble over what they brought, which is
Yeah, we have Dr. Fish bringing Hunter, Mage, Shaman, Warlock. Jolt C mirroring that with Hunter, Mage, Shaman, Warlock.
Yeah.
So I believe in this sort of matchup, it's just you either automatically ban Shaman or Warlock. Most of the time, it's just Shaman, right?
I
Like
think so.
typically, there isn't any other ban unless you're really worried about something in particular countering your lineup.
Probably, I would say so. It's it's tough. To be honest, it's just for me, like personally, I'm still trying to navigate all the different matchups. So like,
Right.
and it's interesting because like I'm looking at these trends here, and like I see, APM brought pretty similar lineups, like pretty much almost everybody bringing Hunter, Mage, Shaman, Warlock, or at least 3 of those 4 decks.
Yeah.
3 of those 4 classes. Whereas How I Met Your Murgle is kind of going in a similar direction with like a lot of the same classes, but not identical.
Right. There definitely is a little bit more variance there.
Exactly. It's tricky. So I don't know. Like right now, I don't know if I see an obvious ban because I feel like there's kind of merit to all 4 of these like main like popular classes. Like Hunter's obviously pretty powerful and aggressive and versatile. Mage at the moment kind of has the same issue. Like we're seeing big spell mages starting to rise up in addition to all the hero power builds that we've been seeing kind of make a splash. Shaman, same deal. And Warlock, while not having so much versatility, Implock is showing it's got a lot of power to it and a lot of early aggression that sometimes players are just unable to keep up with. So yeah, because of that, I'm not really sure if there is an obvious ban or what we can expect.
Yeah, the only reason I said Shaman was because typically into most other decks, it's very tough to deal with, and based on win rate alone, it is the highest win rate deck, or rather class, currently.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got the bands. If you guys are ready for the bands.
Yeah.
Okay. Got Jolt C, who has banned Fish's Hunter. And Fish has banned the Shaman.
Okay.
I would assume then.
Shaman ban.
Yeah, if it's a ban Hunter, I think Jolt C is mostly would be worried about then the rank 1. I don't know who it was, but they it's just the hyper aggro super smork Hunter is what I would be worried about with Fish's lineup and with my own if I were Jolt C.
Right.
If I were to ban Hunter, that would likely be the cause of it.
Totally fair.
All right. Gonna get the players to start right now. So for our viewers, we're gonna have Dr. Fish first to spectate at the bottom of the screen with Jolt C at the top. So.
All right, let's do it.
Waiting for eyeballs. Well, sorry, can't even wait for eyeballs anymore.
Exactly. Again, that's going to be throwing us for a while, dude.
We lose the eyeballs.
Okay, I see spectate. There we go.
There we go. I also see spectate now.
Wait, did I have Joltik on here? I thought I did, but... Oh, but... Wait. Oh, damn it. I gotta add them.
All right. It looks like
before now. Hold on one moment.
Yeah, it looks like Fish is starting off with a mage with the solid alibi and Theotar in the opening hand, and obviously the Renathal showing us that it is extra large. I would assume that it is a similar to Nails list, the Nails Twitter list and the Habu Gabu rank 1 list. With solid alibi, obviously there's going to be cuts and changes. So I'm interested to see what's behind the hood.
Same.
This is a full mulligan, which honestly somewhat surprising. I would think maybe Solid Alibi might be a keep against Hunter, but I'm not entirely sure on that one.
I think in this matchup, I think just in general, it's not a card you often want to keep in your opening hand.
More so that you would want to draw into it instead then.
Exactly. Or, like, especially when whether or not you need it may depend very heavily on how the game progresses. But we see Joltik is going to be playing the Quest Hunter, and that's another way in which Hunter has been in a very fascinating place right now, since we know that it's, you've seen like the more aggressive Hunter builds, the big beast builds, Quest builds. It's feeling very strong right now for all the options you have.
Yeah, and seeing as this is extra large Hunter, I'm very interested to see what all has been included that is, not typically run in the 30 card version.
Right. I forget that now we're calling the Renathal decks extra large, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Personally.
Oh, did you know that XL is Roman numeral for 40? So XL, extra large, and 40.
Did not, but I really should have, in all honesty. So, thank you for that lesson.
Of course. I just thought it was very interesting, because you know
it's
how
appropriate too.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing as in like most deck websites, it's titled XL something.
Yes. And I'm also seeing this is a bit of an awkward hand for Fish.
Yes, seeing as you have the Magister,
you might want to play the Finley, but you also might not want to get rid of the Dawn Grasp here.
Yeah, exactly. But you also do have the Nightcloak Sanctum, although you're not going to get much use out of it.
Exactly.
Until later on. Although next turn it might not hope to just play it anyways if there's no other good play.
Yeah, that's the thing. It looks like Fish is just trying to get the maximum amount of value out of the hero power. Play the Sanctum, which I think is probably the right move, considering Sanctum is obviously, even if he had played it last turn, it's not like there would have been anything he could have frozen right away. So I don't think
there
this
wouldn't
is the
have been.
Move. This is just very awkward because the biggest risk of what he's doing right now is, again, he's got the Finley if he wants to kind of try to curve out a bit better, kind of try to give himself more options, but he's basically using it mainly for the Dawn Grasp when he's got all these other cards that are at the very least dead for right now.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really want to put the Dawn Grasp back, but if you don't have anything super good to curve into, like you had said earlier, it might have been a good idea to Finley a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I'm just kind of left wondering, did Fish make the mistake of holding on to all of this when he maybe could have given himself a bit more options? But that being said, you could make the argument that not playing minions and, not playing into all these spells that Joltik has in hand to further the quest could be good, but then there's the counter argument that maybe it doesn't really matter because he's got ways to go face that will allow him to further the quest. So,
yeah,
all sorts of angles to approach this from.
Absolutely. Seeing as Jolt C has 8 cards in hand, the Barak is a pseudo-dead top deck, although it's not really dead until you can clear out your hand, But I think just clearing out maybe one more card would be beneficial for Jolt C here. That way you can get the Barak down next turn, and if you still can't play anything, you're still fine.
Mm-hmm.
Even into more card draw, you should still be okay. Had you clear off one more card from hand.
Yeah. I'm curious, does Fish play the Solid Alibi, thinking that might be a freezing trap and giving himself the best chance of baiting it out? But
yeah,
it is risky.
That is. Yeah. Personally, I would. Well, obviously, knowing full information, I would not play the Solid Alibi. But additionally, I don't think it's very good currently, anyways. Until they have 2 or more secrets down, I don't think it's very beneficial to play the Solid Alibi, anyways.
But it is also worth noting, one of the things that actually works out here is that because Fish did play that, if he's really focused on playing the Dawn Grasp and then potentially playing Finley next turn, Dawn Grasp will also play the
the Solid
Alibi, and it won't be countered. So the Ice Trap theoretically still doesn't get much value.
Yeah. Now that we have the Theotar, it's might be a little rough for Jolt C, seeing as the Theotar can swap the quest reward if it is left in hand for too long.
Right, and that's, I mean, right now Joltik is 3 cards away from getting it, and it's tough because I think knowing the matchup, it's a question of, is Joltik going to make the play of just complete the quest on this turn, regardless of whether or not regardless of the fact that he can't play the quest, he can't play Tavish the same turn he completes it, or does he just wait until he can play it the same turn he completes it? Because that is a legitimate strategy that we've seen be very crucial in some matchups. If an opponent has like Mutinous, or in this case, now you have to worry about Theotar as well.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that the proper play may be to have 1 tick left on your quest this turn, if that's an option here. Although there's also, like you had said, maybe just the idea to fully complete it and hope that either they don't have Theotar, or that they, even if they do, that they whiff.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Because we do have a lot of cards in hand, it's just we have to hope that they can't really, if they do or are able to. Oh, okay then. Seems like Jolt C has decided, or rather, not involuntarily decided, to leave the quest up, which is, like I said a bit earlier, I believe the proper play.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think that was actually the right play, because I think Joltik, realistically speaking, I really think that the best move there would have been to actually play the Najzan, the Raj, and like just deal some damage without actually completing the quest, because that was the thing. There was an option to just further it without completing it, so I feel like there just was a lot that could have theoretically been done, and Joltik, for whatever reason, just decided not to do anything. So I'm very curious as to what the thought process was.
I think the idea behind not playing the Raws would be that you wouldn't get the full value out of it, as the Solid Alibi was recasted by Magister last turn.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot that was replayed under the Magister. Yes. So I guess there really wasn't a whole lot of incentive to actually do that.
Yeah. Now we have the Tavish quest finished, and that's actually a pretty decent roll off of the stag charges to get Static Spirit.
Yep, for just extra damage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Joltik kind of knows just that card is going to be that Wild Seed is going to probably be the best card you've got here.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of the other options, it is definitely the best pick if you could choose.
Yep. And now we see this is probably just a Mordresh turn.
Yeah, Mordresh, maybe even Finley here, because there's not much else to be done with this hand.
See, I keep thinking, like, maybe Fish will play the Finley, like, try to, like, refresh this hand, given there's not that much going for it. But I guess...
I was definitely thinking that this turn would have been the Finley turn if he's ever going to play it.
To be honest, I kind of get it, because I'm sure in some respects he's thinking, oh, I want to hold on to these cards, but I think at the moment he's just overvaluing them.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
That being said, he is at least setting himself up next turn to be able to play Kael'thas, Dawn Grasp, and I guess maybe just play a free Kel'Thuzad, and then maybe the following turn he'd play the Finley. Like, he'd still make a big board advancement, so that's something to think about, but yeah. I don't know. It's
definitely rough here.
Yeah, and that's not even what Fish is clearly doing here, which is even
Well, no, because here you can get the honorable kill on your hero power, which I don't disagree with it here, because now it's just 3-turn lethal over time if you don't die with Arcane Burst.
right. But I think one of the things that is concerning me the most right now is we see Fish is at 19 health. Joltik has that hero power, continuously resetting. It's a lot of damage right there. And I think at the moment, he's got to do something to really, offset that low life total. But he doesn't really have a whole lot going for him, so...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And that was a miss of 2 damage from Jolt C. It might wind up mattering.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. He has it. Yeah, he has lethal with the Rosnajan.
I get what Fish was trying to do here, but if I'm being honest, I think he played that matchup a little too slowly, a little too slowly. And I
maybe
just played that Finley early on to.
Yeah, I was about to say the Finley a bit earlier would have been definitely a lot better. Looking back on it, at least hindsight always being 20/20.
I mean, Fish generally has a good plan when it comes to his matchups, but I do understand that was probably, he probably was just looking at it from a different perspective than how we were seeing it. He probably figured those would be cards that would be good in the late game. I think, just in hindsight, especially the mass polymorph doesn't necessarily do much for you in that matchup.
Yeah,
as there are, but
neither does the Kel'Thuzad really. If you don't have many of your volatile skeletons down, or even potentially dead,
Oh yeah, no. But the funny thing is, if he had just been able to play more of those, and then he did actually have a good setup there to play the Kael'thas into the Dawn Grasp into the Kel'Thuzad, boy, that would have been a nutty turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
We see, though, now it's going to be a Mage Mirror match. We see Fish is back to his hero power mage, but he's got a solid hand right here. You definitely keep the Wildfire and the Reckless Apprentice in this one.
Well,
Joltik
seeing as the opponent is a mage, it might not even be the Reckless Apprentice here, honestly.
Well, I would argue that, that's fair, but I would also argue that if they're playing something that is a bit, right now we know every single mage list right now is somewhat minion-focused, so I think it wouldn't hurt, but I also do respect not holding on to the Reckless Apprentice even with the Wildfire. Joltik, though, judging by the fact that he has I'm trying to look up that card's name, the
Deepwater Evoker?
Thank you. The Evoker makes me think that he is playing something more of a bigger spell mage. Higher curve.
Yeah, I agree that the odds are that there is a higher curve. I've seen a few lists floating around, though, where they still do tend to run the Wildfires and things like that. They just cut some of the lower end for more big spells and just high rolls with for deep water.
He is still playing Wildfire, who knows? But we see that Joltik is a much higher curve in his current hand. I spoke too soon, I guess. Because now he's got the Snow Flurry.
Yeah, I wonder if it's ever just trying to tempo it out.
I think you kind of have to here, because I don't think it's going to hurt you, and he knows next turn he's going to have other options that won't involve his hero power, so it's kind of like, why not?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Generally speaking, you want to hold off on playing the Flurry if you don't think you're going to have,
if they're going to have a big target.
Power.
Yeah.
So
then it is probably just the Snow Flurry and hero power, right? Do we ever save the hero power, or do we try and clear their Snow Flurry?
Well, considering he doesn't have the Wildfire just yet, or any kind of boosted hero power, I think you play the Flurry, you don't use it yet, because that 2/3 is not something you're really worried about.
Right, it's nothing too big.
But yeah, you just tempo it out, you've got a board, you've got options for next turn. Okay, he is just going to hero power. All right. I respect that. I just feel like when you know you're going to have a good play for turn 4, why not just have that option in your back pocket?
Yeah, build up to it, you know.
Exactly. But we see now Fish, I think he's probably contemplating if he's going to play the Treasure Guard here, or if he maybe wants to Theotar. I don't think like Theotar is necessarily all that useful yet. I think like in this kind of matchup, you kind of want to wait until you think you're gonna until you know for a fact you're gonna get some good value off of it, and as long as you feel confident enough that you'll have something to give your opponent that you're not gonna feel bad about giving them.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Although, if Fish could see Joltzi's hand, I don't really know if they would hold back on the Theotar here, because the Sire Denathrius is in hand as well as a Blizzard. Two decent cards to pull off of the Theotar, especially the Denathrius.
Right.
But I can definitely agree with you that you should typically wait until you know you're going to get something good.
Agreed. I mean, this is obviously somewhat of a game of patience in this matchup, because you have to really figure out when do I play certain cards, how much value do I place on certain cards in hand, and especially with something like the Reckless Apprentice, you're thinking you want to get the damage out there, but knowing your opponent might be playing some of these volatile skeletons, you might want to hold on to it for that if they're going to like play a bunch of them. It's tough.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there.
I think he takes. Does he take the Reckless Apprentice just to have another one? Take that power out of Joltik's hand? I wonder.
I was thinking about the Deepwater Evoker myself, just to deny the healing and the potential for high rolls.
Yeah.
And it's just it's between Coin and Flurry here. I would assume it's just Coin.
I don't
to
know,
swap
because,
with whatever you pick.
I mean, in theory, he ends up taking the
Savara.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it can give them another Blizzard or a few if they wind up picking up more before they play the Savara.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about giving the Coin is while that's theoretically not like that's theoretically good.
Yeah.
Like you
If
also
they-
put them in a situation where it lets them cheat something out a little bit sooner that you might not want.
Yeah, exactly. I can. Yeah.
And we see off of the Dungeoneer, he does get the Deathborn, which is obviously one of the key spells when it comes to this deck, for creating volatile skeletons. And this is also awkward if Fish decides to play the Cold Case, but it looks like he's leaning towards... No, he's not. Okay, interesting. I wonder...
I disagree with trading the Fire Sale there. I think it honestly would have been better to just save it, leave it in hand, while still playing the Reckless Apprentice.
I don't know, to be honest, because I think the counter argument to that would be that if you have the Reckless Apprentice, which is basically doing the same thing, what would you need the Wildfire for? The Fire Sale for?
Well, from what I know about Hero Power Mage, you typically want to save at least one Reckless Apprentice for after the until after you play your hero card. So I would think that you would want to save your Reckless Apprentice, at least one of them. So
yes, I guess that's a fair point.
I would personally save the Fire Sale.
Yeah, no, if you didn't have the second Apprentice, I probably agree with you more strongly. But yeah,
no, I agree with him playing the first one. I was saying just save the Fire Sale that you traded.
No, that's also fair. Yeah.
Yeah, because I disagree with him playing the second one currently.
Oh. Okay.
Well, if you were to have the Fire Sale, I would.
Well, speaking of the devil, right?
Yeah. And there is the Wildfire for Jolt C.
Which is nice that he has not played the Reckless Apprentice yet.
Yeah. Well, the Reckless Apprentice and the Deep Water.
Yes.
I think it's here. It's probably just Wildfire, Ping, Deep Water, or Deep Water first, rather. See what we get. Like, if we get an Arcane Intellect here, we play that. No, then yeah, it's Wildfire and Ping.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Yeah, typically, from my own experience, I tend to mess up on ordering. So especially with card draw, on occasion I would accidentally play like the Wildfire and everything first before the Deepwater Evoker.
Mm-hmm.
But had he drawn an Arcane Intellect, that might have been a misplay if I were the player here.
That's always one of the tricky parts about some of these plays. It's like you think you kind of know what you're going to do, but if you're playing something that adds a random card to hand or something, you may end up changing your game plan.
Doing it in the wrong order. Yeah, exactly. Now the question here is: Do we ever trade and Ping? I honestly think we just go face.
Yeah,
because we're not really
trade here.
Yeah, we're not really threatened by the 3/4.
No, you also don't really have much to get. All right, I guess he's going to trade it. I guess it's like, in a certain way, it feels like a war of attrition, so maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess staying ahead on board is fine, but seeing as there was... I guess if Jolt C were to trade for Fish, there was no reason to trade yourself. And if you go face and you make it a face race, you're still going to win if I was in... at least I think so, if you're playing as Fish here. So I disagree with the trade here, just entirely.
I definitely agree, though. Yeah, there wasn't really a reason to trade. I get why you would think about it, but it doesn't really make sense.
Make much sense
But
overall.
Trading is often hard to figure out, like hard to evaluate, because on one hand, there are going to be situations where board control is key, and then you're going to have other matchups where you think you need to clear the board, and it's just like, you got to just accept the fact, hey, my opponent might have something that scares me, but I got to just prepare for that possibility.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it ends up boiling down to.
I think here is as good a time as any to play the Solid Alibi and Commander Savara, and then ping one of their volatile skeletons. Although this isn't a bad play either.
Yeah, I think it's...
I don't disagree with this at all. It's just...
No.
I think there might have been a better line.
The spells he's played already to know that he's going to get the full 3-card value, and...
No, there's only 2. He hasn't played Arcane.
That's what I thought. Okay. This is fine, though.
Wow. Theotar. Yeah, Theotar, and if that hits Bran or Savara, it's just kind of nutty.
The only question, though, is he comfortable giving his opponent one of these cards, and if so, which one?
Coin, and I honestly think Grey Sage Parrot. Maybe
Parrot,
even Cold Case.
Sure. Parrot, I definitely agree with, especially because Fish isn't exactly going to be able to get value off of it.
Yeah. At least until Fish plays a Blizzard or something.
Exactly. But that begs the question, is Joltik... Oh, never mind. What's he doing? Oh, because he's got the Deathborn. Yes, that's right.
Oh, wow. Fish with the counter Deathborn.
Oh, my.
So it's just ping the Parrot and play Deathborn here, I think.
1,000%, yes. He's going to take...
Yeah.
Well, no. Actually...
well, we don't really know that they're running Denathrius, but...
No, I was going to say, Solid Alibi here first. I actually think you do that. Yeah, I think you do. Because even though it's good to get rid of the Parrot, if you play the Solid Alibi, it remaining on the board kind of becomes a non-issue. Oh, and there's the Starfish. That's pretty devastating. The good news is, though, The Solid Alibi also stops Joltik from having incentive to play the Denathrius, but it is going to be a very big problem for Fish when it comes out. Jammies, you there? I think you might be having mic issues again. Jammies?
Stream's still going, so we're okay.
Ay.
Like some mic issues for.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Here we go.
Yes, I can.
I can't hear
Yes,
you.
we can.
God. There we go. I can
Hey.
hear you, and you can hear me.
Welcome
Oh
back.
boy. Oh no.
I need to leave and rejoin if that's okay, because I still can't hear you guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I'm back. Can
All
I?
right. Can you hear us
Perfect.
now?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so now
I'm
Joltik
sorry about all the
plays
mic issues.
guitar.
Wow,
I'm
this is a
amazed that-
tough choice.
I feel like it's just the brand, no question.
Really?
Yeah.
Without Kel'Thas, I don't really see the value in brand too much here.
Well, no, I think it's just you're taking it away from your opponent, so it doesn't become valuable for them later.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see that. Thank you for letting me know, by the way, JR. I'm sorry about all the mic issues
No,
I've
it's
had
all right.
tonight.
I wasn't going to make the same mistake twice. Think of it like that.
Yeah. And then next turn, it's likely just lethal.
Most likely. I mean, unless I'm trying to think, is there?
Yeah, there's.
I mean, like the problem is, Fish probably doesn't even realize.
Yeah, so if he's
Yeah,
just gonna
he's
play
just
like
up.
normal.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Well, no. Even then, it's unless it casts another solid
Right,
alibi.
exactly.
It's just
If it hits,
it has to hit solid alibi.
There's Wildfire. That's good.
Nope, cold
It's
case.
not good though.
Yeah, that's just lethal.
Well, no. Hold on. If
You go face and then you play the side of Denathrius.
oh yeah, wait.
But
hold
also
on.
now with Kel'Thas,
Yes,
it's
no. You're right.
yeah.
726. It would, or no, it wouldn't be. No. Oh no. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's enough.
Kel'Thas. Yeah.
Ay. But no, actually, it would not have been guaranteed without the Kael'thas draw.
Oh, you're right. They would have been at one had one
was
extra not on face.
possible, but it was not guaranteed. And also,
Okay.
that's why it was good that Joltik took the brand.
Yeah. I
mean,
can.
it was good anyway, but that was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Fish goes down 2-0 to
2-0. Yeah.
So Joltik's got one class left.
Which is should be. Wait, that's the.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong section. It should be Warlock.
Hunter and Mage.
So now they just need to win with Warlock.
Right,
And
because it was Joltik's band that was Shaman that was banned, Saku?
Yeah, Shaman banned for Jolt C.
And then
Dr. Fish banned with Hunter.
Okay. So Fish still has his 3 decks, and
Yes.
he's got to beat
Warlock
three times, which is actually pretty doable.
Yeah. I haven't played too much Shaman here, so I don't really know what the mulligan should look like here, especially against Implock, you know?
Well, it's a good thing you mentioned. Well, it's a good thing you asked that, Jammies, because as it turns out, I almost hit Legend with this Shaman deck, but ended up switching to a different deck. But I can tell you, the mulligan is basically to contain anything that's going to give you like card draw or card generation. Sleepbreaker's Accident is absolutely great. The other card obviously is the Piranha card that gives you the 3 Piranhas in hand. So that's pretty helpful. Primal Dungeoneer is a keep as well. Pretty much anything that's going to help you in expanding your schooling. Thank you. Anything
Fixed myself.
Yeah, anything that expands your card draw, expands your hand, is going to be good.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, and we see here that Joltik has a pretty decent opener. The bartenders are probably just going to go back right away, but at the same time, not necessarily immediately, since we see Joltik does have good turn 2 follow up, so that's going to definitely be the priority. The void walker is going to be lost here, but I think it works out fine. Oh, that's pretty solid. I was going to say, you definitely play the null here, clear the board. That's huge. It does obviously help with the pool for Rafam, but that's quite a bit of turns away.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Mic issues every 5 seconds for whatever reason.
Fun.
Oh yeah, and I don't even know why it's happening or how to fix it.
For real,
Like
though.
permanently. Otherwise, I would have done that.
It's all good.
And I think it's just face and then primordial wave maybe. Because you just you don't even need the primordial wave if you high roll with a 10 drop.
No, here's the thing. I don't know if you necessarily need to play it purely because, like, in this matchup, Joltik's not necessarily playing any. If this is like straight imp block, he's not really going to be playing removal that would require like such immediate answers. So I think he saves the primordial wave for a turn where after Joltik has actually played some minions. I think as is, it's not a priority. So I think Fish kind of notices that too and just decides to go face and leave it at that. I think he should have played the Sleepbreaker instead of developing the Piranhas, but it ends up being fine.
Yeah, I don't really know the what would I guess ideally what would the difference be right here if he were to have played the other Sleepbreaker other than having another Windchill in hand?
The main difference would have been he would have been able to attack with the Sleepbreaker and still have the Piranhas to attack with as well. That's really the main difference, but yeah, it's not game breaking. It is in some ways a little bit more mana efficient, arguably, but I don't think based on the moves he made this turn, it ends up mattering much one way or another.
Got you. Yeah. I think we just trade the Wicked Chip and see what we get here, just like for first. Oh wait, no, that's infused. Yeah. I disagree with playing the Wicked Shipment here. I think trading would have been a little bit better here, but this obviously isn't a bad play at all.
To be honest, I don't disagree with it, only because... Actually, no, I disagree with it because he should be worried about Primordial Wave, and this just furthers that problem. Primordial Wave is going to be perfect in a situation like this since it is going to mess with the pool for Rafam.
Yeah.
So that is something to consider.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to mess with it too much, I don't think. And Rafam's already infused.
Yes, but remember, Rafam has to revive imps, and if there's a limited amount of imps that are
in the pool, yeah,
right, then that ends up being a bit of a problem. Like as is,
they're only going to be 3
playing the Primordial Wave here. Just because if his biggest fear right now should be Rafam. If he's able to clear his board, Rafam ends up being the thing he has to worry about most. Even if he doesn't know he has it, he should be thinking Rafam is going to be the biggest problem for me. And yes, he's also right not to clear the imps. It's like, yeah, it might not seem so efficient, but that's rough.
Yeah, but you can play the muck pools if you have enough time.
Did he do it?
No.
He did not. And he couldn't even play the Sleepbreaker either. That is why, my friends, you have to make sure you manage your time properly.
Yeah,
but the
absolutely.
good news is this is still a board that Joltik can't really do a whole lot with at the moment.
Yeah, although actually, yeah, you're right. I think maybe it's just trade off your weaker things here and try and get your farm down for more imps and see what we can do from there.
Agreed. I think
Although he is trading now. Grimoire is not bad at all.
No, it's not great, and really you don't actually need it here. You could argue it's not worth playing here, but it's not bad either.
Right. It's yeah.
Actually, yeah, I like this play.
Well, I was thinking we should have maybe traded the 1/1 into the Divine Shield to pop it and just clear it with a Herald of Light or our Stormwind, and then what's it called? And then use our Grimoire on that and still clear.
I think in theory that might have worked better, but I think because we see that Joltik wasn't really planning on clearing the 3/5, I think this just works out fine. Gets the damage, moves the Divine Shield. Like enough is accomplished from it.
Yeah, I agree.
But now we see that Fish is in a tough spot because he's really got to figure out how is he going to deal with this board.
I honestly don't think he can here, unless he evolves into something crazy.
Which is possible, but it's rough because he has to clear one of the 3/3s in order to get any proper value off of his minion. And then he's got the Rafam in hand that theoretically just, wrecks him.
Yeah.
I do like the Bran into the Sleepbreaker here. Does allow him to free some stuff.
Ooh. That is.
Oh.
Yeah. With Rafam in hand, or with a Shady Bartender even, that kind of messes with everything.
That's the thing though. The rough part.
I think it would have been better to freeze one of the imps.
Absolutely, but I absolutely agree with that. Just because there's more to be lost, more to be lost from not doing that than from not freezing a 3/4 that can't get any buffs. But on top of that, the problem with the Devour, unfortunately, is that while that may be a great card in a couple turns from now, it's not going to get any immediate value for him because there's just not enough minions on here to immediately make it online.
Yeah, he would need a whole lot of rush minions here, which odds are, honestly, maybe not even going to make it to turn 9.
Yeah, it's rough. I think there's an argument to be made for Gorlock Ravager into the other muck pools and kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else you can really do at this point.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Oh, you can
okay,
the Snowfall. That's what you can do.
Yes, sir. I mean,
it's okay. Yeah.
My bad.
It's okay. I'm not super worried about it.
Fair enough.
I think it's just face hero power Snowfall. That's
yeah, game. Maximum value off of Guardian.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Fish is getting very fortunate here purely because he is now at a point where he doesn't need to worry about needing to freeze the board any longer. That's just it.
Yeah. He already got him down to a point where one will
Guardian
go.
draw from Fish. But sometimes that's how it works.
Yeah, that was an incredible comeback.
Very.
Just one turn.
But you know, to Fish's credit, he made the right plays for I would say for the most part. And he was dealt some unfortunate RNG. I think the only real misstep he made was that one turn where he could have muck pooled his Knoll and then played the Sleepbreaker as well.
Right, he just ran out of time.
Exactly. Sometimes that happens. So, good on him for making the most of a bad situation.
Yeah. Ooh, this matchup might be a little rough for Fish here. I understand that typically it is, I think, better in the mage's favor, but seeing as, I guess, yeah. Well, now that you have the Nightcloak Sanctum, it's going to be less rough.
Yeah. Well, I think Fish's thought process here is probably that he's got the Warlock left as well, right?
Yeah.
I think he's probably thinking to himself, he's going to he'd rather have this matchup knowing
Mage's
he's got
favored.
Mage has probably more, Mage obviously has a better luck in clearing all these like little 1/1s or having AoE.
Yeah.
As disposal, whereas if he's playing Warlock, he knows it's just kind of it could be more of a high roll. He's thinking in terms of let's try to maximize points. So let's go with this, and I think that's the right call.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a bit rough potentially because if Joltik is able to develop a big board with something like with the library
down.
Just saw it play, that could be a problem. But it is also worth noting Joltik does not have any of the main enablers.
Yeah, no large imp summoning here.
Right. So that definitely works to Fisch's advantage for now. And we also see that Fisch is doing a good job of developing his board and allowing himself threats in response to Joltik's minions. So it's certainly there's certainly quite a bit that can be done.
Yeah. So for Fisch next turn, I don't know if we want to be more mana efficient, but it's likely just Nightcloak Sanctum to deny the buff on the Bloodbound Imp for a few turns.
Well, actually, that's one of the things that works nicely here. Now we just play. Now we have the Wildfire. The case just makes more sense, I think. Oh no, you're right. No, now he knows he's going to attack. Right. Because the buff's not going to be used next turn.
Yeah. And even if the buff was used next turn, I think it's still just beneficial anyways to freeze it.
You're right. But knowing that it's been buffed, the tricky part is if he had played a second minion, he may not have Sanctum knowing I don't necessarily know which he's going to attack with.
Right, that I can agree with, yeah.
But this actually ends up working beautifully, and there is also the Deathborn. That is a huge card in this matchup.
Yes. That is
interesting.
Yeah.
I like this draw,
Snow Flurry is here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We really like the Blizzard. We really like the Snow Flurry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we trade the Volatile Skeleton here on the off chance it hits the Imp Gang boss.
Yeah, but the problem is he'd rather have it hit the Imp Gang boss now. It's a tough spot to be in either way since the Imp Gang boss trades into something and gets an Imp anyway.
Right. But if we weren't going to hit the Imp Gang boss, it wouldn't have a 1/1 essentially with charge. But if it did hit it, we would have a 1/1 with charge for the next turn, essentially.
No,
but
that's fair.
If it didn't, then the 1/1 couldn't attack.
True.
That's what I was saying. I don't think it was good to hit with the volatile.
That's a thought process I did not think of. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at the same time, clearly this is it's
definitely in Fisch's favor currently.
Figure out, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just thinking. I wonder what's Joltik gonna do?
All
right.
Oof. That is. Wow.
Okay.
Just going all in, and I think just
I guess
seeing
library
the future
and then
here.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh.
Sea Giant.
Interesting.
Well. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 imps. So this would be a 5 buff.
Yes.
So 10-8.
I think
it's gonna be rough.
Not necessarily because
it's just Blizzard.
Yep. And you can freeze something, make another
skeleton.
Oh no, right. Yeah, no, you just freeze the other imp.
No, the imp is already frozen because freezes after.
I forgot that's how that works. That's such a weird interaction.
Yeah, it is. But I had to learn that the hard way the other day.
Really needed that draw. The Grimoire obviously would have helped.
Yeah, but the Grimoire is kind of just huge here anyways. So, it's Demonic Assault. And then, do we Grimoire? Yeah, we Grimoire our Frozen
Definitely
Hand.
Grimoire.
Yeah. And then we just hope that it
Oh,
doesn't hit face.
wow.
Yeah, Arcane Intellect here
You
to
have
see what we can get.
'Cause
Yeah.
You turn lethal either way.
Yeah, but if we can get a
Fish
lethal
has to,
spear,
Fish has to know that.
yeah.
Plus, Fish
So
has to
we're gonna
know
ping no matter what.
he's
but-
fine as far like he just needs to know hero power needs to be played.
Yeah,
If he's doing the math, he knows there's no scenario. He should know even if Rafam's in hand, which it is, it's still not going to give enough for lethal.
yeah, exactly. It's only 2/2 in stats that
Exactly.
can
There's
attack
not,
immediately.
There's not enough buffs there, and even that, this is only on its own 21 damage. So it's not like there'd be much to fear anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Although that doesn't really do much here, but it's not bad.
Doesn't, but it's also not a bad play purely because it still accomplishes what he needs to accomplish this turn. And
Yeah,
that is the
exactly.
hero power dealing damage.
Yeah.
So
I was-
unfortunately, Joltik probably realized at this point he cannot win this one. He's just
Yeah.
so well played by Fish here to once again take a bad
Bring it back
situation
up.
and just know exactly what he needed to do. But we are going to Game 5.
Wow. That was an incredible series so far. And
Fish decided he is not
hopefully-
down and out. He is not going down without a fight. Wow.
yeah. Hopefully we can get a incredible finish from either players, honestly. I just want to see how this one turns out. It's been just an incredible series, this one so far.
Yeah, crazy to think we went from a 5-game series to a clean sweep to another 5-game series.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster of a night, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everything was going according to plan.
Saku, is there ever truly a plan in THL?
No.
That's what I thought.
Other than starting and stopping streams, that's as far as the plans go.
Oh my god, I can't with you. But I don't know if this is fitting or if this is ironic or whatever you want to call it. We are ending this match and ending our stream with a Implock mirror match.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. There we go. Mic fixed.
Welcome back.
This is so much fun. Just every match,
you
just
love
having
it?
to do it once or
Don't you love
twice. Oh, you bet.
What kind of mic do you have? Like, mic headset do you have?
I think it faded again because, of course, it did. Come on. Well, Dr. Fish has a pretty solid curve going for him. Flame Imp into Bloodbound Imp seems.
How about now?
Now you're good.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, like you said, of course it did at the perfect timing, you know? Like, just-
Yep.
But anyways,
Anyway,
it's a Onikuma headset,
Okay.
and it's lasted me 2 years now, so it's definitely not bad. Although I wish it would last longer for the mic.
for real though.
You can only do one thing at a time. Either listen or talk. Make a choice.
This
right?
is oh boy, this is rough.
Yeah, rough for Jolt C here.
Yep. And I agree with this going for the 710.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for the
Because-
big dude.
Yeah. Although, actually, maybe it would have been more ideal to buff the Flame Imp, because we know they have Grimoire Sacrifice here. Well, not in hand, but like
Yeah, but that's
just
the
in their
thing.
deck.
Well, here's the thing. The argument against doing that is, if you do it on the imp, it's something that'll be easier to kill with slightly more
True.
attack.
Yeah,
Whereas
more
I
attack,
think
less
it's
health.
fine. I think the imp is going to be very hard to kill, and it's going to work fine. Like, yes, the 2 damage attack per turn is kind of annoying, but I think it's worth it.
No, I agree that it's worth it, especially if you buff it. But I was more so concerned with the I you know what? I forgot where I was going with this.
That's all right. Oh boy,
Oh wow.
look at what we have here.
Yeah. We have a 6-8 taunt. Oh,
Okay.
but now we just play Shady
Ooh, yeah, that's
Bartender and
gonna
Buff.
be good.
Yeah. This is
So
4-5.
that's lethal.
That is lethal.
That is lethal
For
if
Fish.
Fish sees it.
Yes.
Wow.
Good
Fish,
game.
the reverse sweep coming from behind takes game 5 and the series.
Yeah, that was
That
absolutely
was
crazy. Yeah.
For a moment, we almost missed that too.
Well, I have to confess something.
What's that?
Our viewers missed that, except for the lethal part.
What do you mean?
I didn't swap the screen over to see the Implock matchup, so apologize for the
Saku,
viewers.
no!
I know, right? See?
Well, at least we got to witness it firsthand.
Yep.
Yeah, there were some witnesses.
All right, well, let's bring in the man, the myth, the doctor.
The
Or as I like to
DOC.
call him, a man who is definitely not part doctor, but very much part fish. I miss being able to refer to him as that.
Okay. Fish says no. So
No!
I'm joking.
Okay.
Don't do that to me, Saku! Come on!
I was very concerned
I
there.
was very concerned, too. I really thought he was being serious.
Yeah, just
I want to
absolutely
be understanding,
deadpan.
but also like, God damn it, Saku! Come
Yeah.
on.
That's me deadpanning, being humorous, but not.
You're really good at it, but also a little too good.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Fish.
Fish!
Congrats,
Hello.
buddy.
Thanks, man.
Congrats. That was an
Dude.
awesome sweep. Well, reverse
Awesome
sweep.
reverse sweep.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, we got to talk about this one. So
Oh, okay.
it felt like you found yourself in some rough spots those first 2 games.
Yes.
It felt like with the Hunter, you really couldn't do anything about that except maybe play that a little bit more aggressively, and even then,
So,
it seemed like that was kind of like not really going to change anything. But yeah, no, go ahead.
so in the Hunter matchup, what happened was, for some when he progressed his quest, I think he progressed it to I think when he progressed to the second tier, I thought for some reason that he had put the reward card in hand, and which is why I slammed Theatar, because I was like, I gotta take a shot in the dark to steal it. So that was a massive mistake. I don't think it would have changed the outcome, honestly, very much, because he waited and he made sure he played it on the same turn, so it was not going to matter too much in the result. But yeah, that was a rough game. The next one was the Mage Mirror,
Yes.
and I didn't get my Dawn Grasp until pretty late, and by that point, there's not a whole lot I could really do in that one because he took Brand with Theatar, which allowed him to get his combo.
Yeah, the irony was we were not expecting it to benefit him like that. We just figured he was taking Bran away from you.
Yeah.
That is not exactly
I was happy to see. I wasn't too sad about Bran because I didn't really see. Like, I thought, okay, yeah, I can maybe get like Bran Dawn Grasp, but really, other than that, there wasn't a whole lot of use for Bran at the moment. It was just a really kind of. I think I probably did maybe a few things wrong here or there, but it did feel like I had a little less to work with. But that's how the game goes. Game 3, I just decided I almost queued the mage back, but I decided I needed to not play the mage there, because if I did, I might get a little like tilted and just decide to, and I was just throwing the max 3-0.
Affect your mindset, which
Yeah, I wasn't like upset with anything. I just didn't want to have like I didn't want to have like kind of a bad situation.
That's actually something though I want to brain on a little bit, going back to that second game, because like you said, you didn't get your Dawn Grasp until late, but the thing that kind of threw us off a bit was you did have like the Dawn Grasp kind of early, but like it seemed like there was a questionable to hold on to like the Mass Polymorph and the Kel'Thuzad. Like
Okay.
you had the Finley in hand where you could have like replaced your hand and potentially gotten like a better
Yeah, yeah, for
series of, like,
sure.
plays going.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought on one hand Dawn Grasp was like a good card, like in a certain way it kind of was worth holding on to. It did obviously benefit you, but it
Yeah.
seemed like maybe if you would play the Finley right after, you were better off like
Okay.
trying to
yeah,
move things along a bit more efficiently.
yeah, and that's definitely something to work on. With recognizing, okay, well, this might be a more proactive thing to do. For sure. I'll go back and I'll go through it with my team and we'll get it all
Like
sorted.
just these little things, because in
Yeah,
obviously
definitely.
in a different scenario, I could see where Kel'Thuzad would have been absolutely amazing towards
Yeah.
your game plan and would have been
Sure.
like a much like a must
Yeah,
in hand for that
Gotcha.
specific matchup.
yeah.
So like it's just these are just things like we obviously
Of course.
just watch. Everybody's
Sure.
gonna have different perspectives and such.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, and then
Then you get to like the games 3, 4, and
then
5.
we get 3, 4, and 5. Game 3 was the Shaman matchup. I was definitely on the ropes. I think the Primordial. I think I was considering a few other plays in the Primordial Wave. Almost. I mean, it honestly, almost completely costed me the game. I happened to get the timely Snowfall Guardian to pretty much lock the game up. But other than that,
Guardian saved you. So
the Guardian saved me because otherwise damage is just coming back at me in droves, and I'm in a terrible position, and I'm probably getting swept. So I don't exactly remember the line, but I needed to do something in clearing that clearing the sea giant. I need to get rid of the giant, and I only had 7 on board. There might have been a scenario where I could have killed it on an earlier turn and just didn't, which is honestly pretty risky. If I had just I think I froze it for a turn or something, but in general, Snowfall just saved me there. And then I think in 4, which was Mage versus Warlock, I just made sure I was prioritizing killing off imps. Made sure I was prioritizing just killing off the imps because of library and things like that. And even then I think it got a little hairy at one point. I don't even quite remember. Every match felt very close. But I was able to with that game I was able to do enough with board freezing to whittle
there
down
is enough.
with like HPs and stuff to really just close that one out. And game 3 was just like I think
Just absolutely.
it was a blowout, but it was still a little sketchy because
had you not gotten Snowfall, it would have been lethal for them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in 3, but for 4, which was
game 5.
In game 5, it was interesting because I felt in control. But then I looked back at the board. I was like, oh, this is a little bit of a problem.
Right.
I had to pretty much play as carefully as I could to not get myself lethal back. And I kept the shady. I pretty much told myself, don't trade the shady because you're probably going to need it on 5 for something. And it happened to just pretty much work out that I was able to get enough. I was able to get an imp card or something to generate enough imps to, or no, I just had enough imps on board to get lethal with Shady Bartender and Library.
Yeah.
The early 7-10 was pretty much what shut the game out because I knew it would get big enough to even if I didn't have lethal, I was planning around not having lethal, and then I looked at it and said, I probably just have lethal damage right now.
Well, right.
So let's go for it.
We almost missed it. And then I realized, wait, you're just shy of lethal, except you have the library.
And I just decided to punch the library on anything that wasn't trading, that wasn't a 3/3 trading, and so I was able to take it. That was a very satisfying reverse sweep because I after the 2 losses, you feel a little bit shaky. In Legacy, it's a little bit different. I did kind of had my lineup tailored for a soft and block target. My mage was my mage was teched for Warlock. My Warlock deck surprisingly was not teched for the mirror. My Warlock deck was teched for like mage and stuff like that. It was teched to go a little bit longer, but none of those cards got drawn. None of my top end got drawn, which was nice.
I mean, yeah, I'm about to say that's a good thing that it didn't.
For sure, because the game only went to turn 5, which was kind of crazy. I don't generally get wins on 5 with this deck. I don't play it a lot, but like I still feel like I have to work a little bit on ladder for it, and that just happened to be a really good thing.
I mean, it's
There's always the opportunity.
Yeah.
There was we had several games of Implock, and all of them basically ended quickly. Whether the Implock won or lost, they were quick games, which I'm just kind of like, wow, like that's like a weird trend to see out of 3-4 straight games. It was just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely just a sight to see.
Yeah, for sure.
But absolutely fantastic. We think honestly, we were saying, you may have had some rough first 2 games, but those games 3 through 5, I again, admittedly, the Guardian was definitely a clutch draw, but I also think it should be noted that that would not have saved you in that situation if you hadn't already been smart about how you dealt your damage and put your opponent on a situation where they would die next turn. So I think you did what you had to do, and again, well played there, Fish. Well played.
Thank you, friend.
Absolutely, that was absolutely well played by you. It was insane to see. At first I was disagreeing with the idea to keep the Shady Bartender for 5, and then when I saw lethal, I was just like, I'm just absolutely wrong. Yeah, you were right. Yeah.
If anything, I need it to make my minions bulky enough to trade with a Sea Giant. So,
right.
Yeah, that was a big honestly. If Jolt C had something like Grimoire there, it's very difficult to win from that position. It's almost very difficult to win from that position. I think I don't know. I think it would have been tough. I would have had to trade Shady and try to look for something to buff a minion up enough. But anyways, really good games with Jolt C. That was my second. I've really only faced him 2 times, and he's been a great opponent every single time I've played him. So, thanks for the great games. Really happy to get the team. Really happy to get our team going with 2 wins to start the week. So, everything's going good.
No, we're very happy. I think now are those the only 2 matches that were played so far?
Yes, the only matches is myself and MPV.
All right, so it is 6-6 then.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Young Zera took a 3-2 loss.
Oh, okay. So that.
So it's sorry.
Wait,
it's
no.
So it was 8-4, and now it's 8-10.
Oh, so you guys are. Wait.
We're up 2-1.
Oh, okay, right. Because you had a loss. Yang Zera lost.
And
Okay.
we're all.
Oh yes, 8-10. Yes, because it was a 3-2. Yes. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations on retaking the lead, and we will hope to see you on here again soon.
Right.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Fish. Sorry.
Thank you,
No
Fish.
problem.
I'm going to admit as I admitted to the viewers out there.
You did the same thing I did.
It's the transition is okay, I'm watching this. We're good. And when I peeked over,
I missed game 5 of Neji and Blood Rose last night. So
yeah, that's all good.
It's all good. My
Warsaw.
team, my team will see the replay. I have all my replays, so we're all good.
That I'm not worried about.
Yeah, we're all.
I got the end though.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Good. So yeah, that's really all that matters. All right. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you later.
You too, Fish.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Thank you, Fish.
Well, I'd say we had 3 solid, fun matches that were all worth watching in some form.
Certainly did.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that all 3 of those matches went fairly differently, because even the 2 Game 5s had very different lines of progression.
Yeah, one was we're in the first Game 5 lineup was just almost a blowout back-to-back games, but in opposite directions. One win, one loss, one win, one loss.
Exactly.
But the other one was just a reverse sweep, and then we had a blowout. It was insane. This was
I was
wonderful
also
time.
thinking, not only was it like kind of a blow, but like it felt like in PWE and Trito's match, like the first 3 games were decently long, like not super quick, and then games 4 and 5 were like lightning.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh.
Lickety split. So
I mean, right? It's what a night. I mean, I am starting to feel the exhaustion a little bit, but I am very happy I had some great comrades by my side tonight.
There you go.
To help get this done. We appreciate to all those watching tonight. Thank you so much for coming by to Salty Saturdays. 3 of us right now definitely aren't feeling salty, though. I think we're feeling satisfied, right? Satisfied Saturdays?
So absolutely.
All right. Awesome. And I would love to thank my co-host, Righteous Jammies, for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
And, of course, my favorite Canadian, possibly my favorite Canadian ever, but definitely my favorite Canadian in THL, the always wonderful Saku.
Hey, thank you. Sorry, I again missed at the back end, but
Saku, I love you too much to ever hold that stuff against you. You know that.
It is what it is, right? So
exactly. But again, thank you all so much for coming. We will see you on the next edition of Salty Saturdays. I was going to say, Saku, do we have any matches to look forward to tomorrow night, or are we?
Right now, we do have Schoolstone, which I believe is Fish is going to be captaining that ship. I just got to find the stream match requests.
Yeah.
So Fish has got Sunday Schoolstone, so he's doing a 3 p.m. Eastern match with Quaz versus Osmonaut. That's in the Legacy series. And then at 4 p.m. Eastern, we have Geranium Battle up against Lemur in the Legacy series as well. And then later on that night, we'll have one match with who was it? Geranium Battle, I believe it is. Yeah, Geranium Battle and Diamond. For a Hero series, so
damn, that's a match. Those two interact so much that I'd love to see them play against.
Yeah,
they do.
That'd be awesome.
So casting with me on that one is going to be Dollar Bills and Myanodon. So
I love those. Those two are the perfect casting pair. I swear
they complement each other.
You can't show me a better pair unless I feel like maybe Brasky would work really well with both of them.
Yeah,
hold on. You said a better pair, right? Listen. There's so many pairs in my fridge right now. I can show you pairs.
There we go.
I don't know if they're better, but they're pairs.
You know what? I'll respect that pun because it's a creative one. I have not heard that one before, and I appreciate that.
All right. With that,
all right. Thank you all again. I guess we'll call it a night, shall we?
We shall.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Everybody, take care.
Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.